Well, boys, you're rich, in love, you're in love. Top it off, you got your own monkey. Or could two guys from Jersey possibly one?
Well, to have these fucks stop talking shit about us on the internet, for starters.
What have I been telling you? There's not much you can do to stop that. Well, short of showing up at all their houses and beating the shit out of them, I guess.
You know, with all the money we're making, man, we could buy a lot of plane tickets.
Commenters, please kill yourselves and free me from this living hell. If your comment is mean and snide, then you can just fuck off and die. Why do you feel entitled to spewing your bullshit attitude? You're rude and crude and I hate you, so kill yourselves, please, and be cool. I pronounced the word wrong, I don't care. I didn't represent you, yeah, no shit, I am myself, motherfucker. Think I got a bad attitude? Well, you ain't seen shit. A shadow banned your ass, so deal with it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of the Pro Crastinators Podcast. I'm hosting today, I'm Digibro, and we're doing a little sequel to a topic we've done before. We did reviewer rules, now we're doing commenter rules, and I'm joined by my panel of co-hosts. Started left to right. We got Jesse Wood.
Happy Easter. I'm going to shit on everyone.
Endless Jess, not Jesse Wood.
Oh, I'm going to get into that. I'm glad you brought
that
up.
I'm sure we are. Yeah, that's going to be important. Best guy ever?
Hey, sexy lady.
The Devoo.
www.hi.com.
Hypocrite.
Yep.
And Tommy Oliver.
I'm mad at comments.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're in
Tom's
the
got
right
the most
town,
recent,
buddy.
the recent example of a toxic comment section.
Toxic.
Yeah. This is a very appropriate time for us to do this
Yeah,
this podcast.
yeah.
This is something that's been brewing within me for a long time.
Oh, man. Let me tell you guys. I have been like a caged animal waiting for this topic to come up. I have so much to fucking
the
say.
people have asked for it too. The commenters want to know how to conduct themselves. They're just ignorant.
Yeah.
They need education. So we're here
If
to provide.
only
It's
it was
true.
that cut and dry.
Yeah, when we did reviewer rules, we sort of hinted at doing commenter rules, and
Yeah.
I've had this video idea planned for a long time. Like I was gonna do like a top 10 video, like top 10 things to make me hate you in my comment section. Like I've been planning that forever.
I feel like you should
but,
still do that, definitely.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
there's
I
no
have
better.
multiple comment videos written that I'm just sitting on waiting to unleash upon the world.
I mean, if you
like
put
a
them out, you're just
miasma
gonna get the
of
comments.
death.
So
Hopefully
Well, this just goes
opens
to
the
show how
floodgates.
passionate we are about this topic.
right.
That
Yeah.
it had to be done on this podcast for a few reasons. One, because Jesse always has problems with his commenters. He's been on a fucking crusade. Is the best way to put it.
I've developed a system. It's a 3-step system where if you even fucking piss me off one time, like I've been doing this for like 6 years, I've fucking had it. So from now on, if you even slightly piss me off, the first thing I do is right away you're banned. You can never fucking comment again. I don't give a shit what your excuse is. If you say you were ignorant of the rules or if you didn't mean to offend me, fuck you, you're gone. And the best part is it's a shadow ban, so you don't even fucking know you're banned. You're just writing your comments out and they go into a void.
It's
and no one ever
Chinese
sees
ban.
them. So, yeah. So step 1 is you're banned. Step 2, I screen cap your comment and I ridicule you publicly on Twitter. So that everyone
Yeah.
knows what a piece of shit you are for all time. And the third
And it
step...
helps filter out more comments because a lot of Twitter people will then be like, I think that guy has decent points that you can ban
Yeah, exactly.
him to.
That's my plan.
It's
That
a
it'll
never-ending
it'll
cycle.
help foster
Now, I
a
have to
better
make
comment
something-
section in the
something
future.
very clear right now. People who are going to say that you were violating your freedom of speech, I have it right here. The First Amendment. This is what it says. Congress
The
shall
First
make
Amendment
no law
is don't
respecting the
piss me
establishment
off.
of religion,
I'll fucking
and
kill you.
faggots
Don't
on
say
YouTube
anything
are banned.
on my fucking.
People should read
Don't
it.
say anything on the internet you wouldn't say to my face.
all right, Jesse, what's step
and the
3? What's
third
step 3?
is that since I have a screen cap of your comment, it gets filed away in a manila folder for future use in a fucking video where I will even more publicly fucking shame you and make you, hopefully you'll be watching, and make you kill yourself. That's my
Yes,
ultimate goal,
yes.
is to make
Good,
my
good.
commenters
It's
kill themselves
interesting,
in
though.
shame.
Oh, it's funny because we're kind of
I
split
want them to
down the middle
die. I
on
don't
our
respect their
handling
right to
of
live
comments.
as a human being on this world. They are holding
Right.
all of humanity back with their bullshit, insipid comments and their refusal
All right, hold
to
on.
understand
Jesse,
anything said
we're getting
before
ahead of
them.
ourselves here.
Are
It's true.
we?
It's funny.
I want to
these
murder
are-
them with
these
a
are more
shotgun.
conclusion
I have
statements.
Right.
murderous fantasies. I want to find them. I want to
We've
get on a
gotta-
plane and go to all. It fucking bothers me. It keeps me up at night. It makes my skin crawl to think that I can't fight my commenters. I want to get on a plane like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and fly
Yes,
all over
right,
America
right.
and find them and one by one kick the crap out of their pubis fucking heads.
That should be the intro to this video.
That really should be.
Actually, yeah, that should be. It's because that scene is amazing.
it really
I think
is.
that's probably the most. I think for an internet content creator, if you haven't seen this, you can just watch. Jesse did a video where he set that scene to the Kill La Kill song.
Yep.
You can just go watch that. It's one of the most satisfying things.
It is one of
I've
my
ever
favorite scenes
seen.
in any movie.
It's literally Jay and Silent Bob get rich, and with all the money they have, they realize that they can fly around the U.S. and beat the shit out of people who leave negative comments on their online content. It's fucking
You see,
incredible.
what I was always thinking, because I've gone through a period where I've had a big video that gets lots of bad comments, and what I was just thinking of is I can just mail them all a ticket to like this exotic trip on a bus, and then drive the bus into a Korean and kill all of them in one fell swoop.
yeah.
That seems a lot easier to get away with, because like it'll just be seen as a coincidence.
I mean, the only problem is they're not all going to fit on one bus. There's just too
All right,
many.
you know what? Maybe we're right to intro this way just so people can understand the level
Right.
of passion.
Because like
going
we all
into
have
this,
different
you
ways
know?
of dealing with comments, but our hatred for
Yes.
bad
And
comments
by the
is
way,
universal and seething.
That's true.
I think we'll all agree on this one. I hate this. I know that at least Digi agrees. I hate this stigma of like against like turning off the comments section. Like the only reason I
Yeah.
don't turn mine off is because there's a stigma against it. I don't believe that comments should even be allowed anywhere at all. They shouldn't exist.
Well, Jesse, you keep getting ahead of me here, man. We're already 6 minutes in, and I haven't
told
even
you
properly
when
introduced
we were
this
starting
topic.
that I have a lot to fucking say about this topic.
I know we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to it. Just let me properly lead us in first.
Okay, go for it.
Because the part of the reason for this, not just that Jesse has this ongoing crusade. It just so happens that me and
It is.
Tom
It's a
have both
genocide
recently
crusade.
have really bad comment sections. I made this video about a race that got like over 3,000 comments in 24 hours, which like is way disproportional to the number of views it has. It's like everyone who watched it fucking commented. I've had to ban more people based on this video than I have based on any other video for the insipidness of the
Even more
comments.
than the Sorted Online?
Well, with that one, I just turned off the whole comment section
Ah,
at the
fair.
time.
All right.
And I didn't really ban people back then as much as I do now. But and then Tommy Oliver here recently put out this pony video, which is funny because it was in response to comments he'd gotten in the past.
Yep.
Tom, you want to explain this? What exactly this is?
Yeah, I mean, like for the past 3 years, like I made like horse videos years ago. I don't even really do it anymore, and to this day, I still get comments like shitting on this one stupid idea that I had. And so they finally, like after years of persecution, the show basically up and says I was right. So I make this most like tongue-in-cheek, disgusting meme trash video, just gloating because like I'm right, and it felt great. So I put like 70 comments in the video that all just like tried to shit on me over the course of like 3 years, and then just like blew it the fuck up.
I've never so thoroughly seen one group of commenters get absolutely ass blasted the fuck out like it was on that video. It was amazing. It was great. Everyone should go watch it.
It was years in the making, but of course, it just inspired. Like it's because we took all this time. Me and Nate went back and forth. And we got to make sure this is airtight and
Yep, we
bulletproof, and it doesn't matter. You know, stupidity knows no bounds.
You can't
and they
expect them
found
to
a way.
learn like people. They're not people. They're monkeys. They're animals.
I mean, if you have a conclusion and you're searching for evidence to find it, like, okay, my point is Tom's wrong, gotta find evidence. You'll always be able to find
that's confirmation
little
bias.
minutia.
It's a huge
That's
problem.
right.
Vote it up,
Yeah.
That's
Dick.
exactly what it is. Yeah.
So yeah, Jesse, to get back to what the point you were bringing up, and I have like a 30-minute video about this on my Digibro After Dark channel called On Closing Comments. We won't get into as much depth about it because you can just go watch that video. But like, yeah, there is a huge weird stigma against closing comments that makes no fucking sense. And the simplest way to explain why it doesn't make sense is that no other art form has this.
Yeah.
No.
When
like,
I go and see a movie in the
movies
theater,
do not have a comment
they don't
section,
give you a pamphlet
you know?
with a bunch of Rotten Tomatoes reviews inside of it when you go see a movie.
No. There's no other art form that has the comments on, except for like with a book, they will actually take good comments people have made about it and put it in the book to hype up the book. That's the closest thing I can think of to this. But, like, people think that they're entitled to have, like, and it's always censorship and freedom of speech is what they always say. They always say, oh, it's censorship to delete comments. And it's like, no, it's not, because I am giving you this platform. I don't have to. There is no, like, when people say it's censorship, it's like censorship would be if I told you that, like, if I shut down your blog that was talking about my video.
I'm kind of on the other side of this argument because I see a comment section as a place where there is an opportunity for discussion. And yes, some comment sections are completely cancer.
Yeah, but you allow that.
That's right, I do.
YouTube has a button that you can press that says allow comments on this video or don't allow comments on this video. If I want discussion on my video, I leave the like 100% of the reason there's comments on my videos is that I like reading comments because I have fostered a comment section that actually has good discussions. Sometimes it's shit, which is why, like, the other day I made a video about about positive videos I had done. It was like videos about anime I actually like, and the whole video is just me listing all the positive videos I've done. And at the start of it, I made the horrible mistake of saying comments about my beard will be deleted, because every time I show my face on camera, I get 1,000 comments about my beard, and it's super annoying because it has nothing to do with the video, and I don't want to hear about my fucking beard. So I said that, and of course I got like an insane number of comments about the beard, and I was deleting them all, and then I realized that the other comments weren't interesting because there was nothing to discuss in this video. It was just a list of other videos. So I just disabled comments on the whole video, and that made perfect sense because there's no room for discussion. There's nothing to talk about on it. So, like, the comment section to me is really just your way of saying, hey, I want you guys to talk about my video, and I want to read it. Because anyone can talk about your video anywhere on the internet.
In a perfect world, it would be a place for discussion, but that's just not the reality of how it is, because people are vile little mutants, and it's just sewage. It's graffiti is what it is. The fucking...
It's not graffiti, because in no way does it actually impact the material itself.
Yes, it does impact
it fucking does. Because if somebody leaves a comment that completely misunderstands my intent, and they leave that fucking comment on there, other people see it, and it affects how people view my art and
let's
my
make a
work.
distinction.
And that
let's
makes
make a
me sick to
distinction
my
between
fucking
closing
stomach.
comments and
are to
deleting
art
bad
what pigeon
comments that
shit
are
is to a
purely
statue.
toxic.
It's just a fucking blight on my work, on my blood, sweat, and tears.
I honestly
and
think you guys are a little bit too
deserve to have
sensitive
their
about the
fucking
criticisms
asses
you
kicked.
get.
Every single one of them.
This is not just about criticisms. How many times have you seen a comment that spoiled what was going to happen in the video, that repeated the jokes from the video, and therefore if you read... Because a lot of people... Because of the fact that the comments are right there, a lot of people do end up scrolling down and looking at the first few comments while they're watching the video. And those first few comments will almost always be some kind of spoiler, some kind of repeat of the joke that was in the video.
Are those really relevant, though? Like, do those really cost you anything in the video? I don't know if they do. How many videos are, like, ruined by spoilers on YouTube?
There could be a lot, because if you ruin the punchline of a joke video, then the punchline isn't going to have
if the setup isn't there, you don't know the meaning of the punchline, so there's nothing to spoil until you already get to that point.
Look, you would be shocked by how often there are spoilers in the comments of YouTube videos, and I've heard people complain about
the comments down there are part of the viewing experience, and I could be watching someone's video and like it, then I read a comment, it puts me in a bad mood, and so then, the commenters just spoiled the good mood that the video had put me in. Those dang commenters.
Then don't read the comments. That's on you. Just don't read the comments.
But
it's very hard to not read
they shouldn't
comments
be there.
that are right there.
And
how am I supposed to know if the
comments
comments are bad?
Listen,
I think a lot of
people... This podcast is not titled "Let's Remove All Comments." It's called Commenter Rules because we want comments to be good. Because that won't
And a
happen.
part of that is the creator's ability to remove comments or allow them. Gibbon, you were saying something. What are you saying, Gibb?
I was going to say, I think a lot of the people who comment, like, just insipid, uninteresting stuff is because they use the comment section like they would a Skype chat. Like, they don't have anyone to talk to the video about, so they feel like it's a community down there. Like,
that's true.
They can look at it.
And I think that's a valuable thing, and I wouldn't really want to take it away from people.
Well, Nate, that's the thing, though. It can be valuable, and it can also be hurtful. It can actually make, like, okay, for something like...
It could be.
My Digibros show, right?
Yeah.
My Digibros show, the comment section is really good because it does feel like a community, because it's a small group of people watching it.
Right.
It's the same people watching every video.
So they know what they're talking about.
There's sort
no
of a
one-
communication between them and us, you know, like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
read the comments and there's like an ongoing conversation. And I like that because it's an ongoing series of videos, because it's something that has a, you know, like a narrative to it, and that the commenters understand that narrative, and there really is nowhere else to talk about it, nowhere else that makes
Right.
sense to talk about it, you know. But if you had, like, let's say PewDiePie, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a reason that he doesn't have comments enabled on his videos, partly because he gets constant spam in there, but also because, you know, to foster that kind of community, he has his own forum. There's a whole PewDiePie forum where people can actually discuss his videos who all sort of know the context, who know all the things he's talking about, and aren't just random people running in and yelling memes and being
Look,
fucking
true.
assholes.
There's
So
no
that's
place I've
comment-
seen
so
that
that-
was more gross than the PewDiePie comment section,
Yeah, so that's
especially with
commenter
spam.
rule-
But yeah, I just
commenter rule
wonder if
number
there's
one.
really any harm being done by filling the comment section with those when you just have the ability to not look at it. You can just not scroll
Well,
down because
I'd
you're on a PewDiePie video and you know that it's going to be
I,
shit.
Commenter
I've
rule
got
number
a
one,
good,
get
pretty good
friends. That's the first
analogy
rule.
for comment sections that I just thought of.
Okay.
It's kind of like the YouTube video is like a party that's being thrown by the YouTuber, and all the people who come in, like it's a free party and there's free food and stuff, and they come and they experience it, and anything they say out loud within earshot of like the guy who's hosting it is a comment, and anything they say to their friends after they leave or anything is like something they say amongst themselves or in their own Skype chats or somewhere else,
Right, 'cause
where it
we
doesn't
have,
hurt.
you know,
It's not
us here
annoying.
in
But
this
if
chat, we
you
are-
if somebody just comes in and they, you know, they try the punch and they don't like it and they say this party sucks really loud and just leave, like that's a bad comment and I hate that guy.
I
'Cause he
don't
just-
feel
First of all,
I
by the way,
ruining the
everyone-
mood.
I'm
I
not-
don't feel like it's a party. I feel like my videos are for me and my friends, and to a much lesser extent, but still there, you know, my patrons, and that's it. Everyone else
right.
is an uninvited guest in my house, so you better fucking behave yourselves. And if you don't, you're dead. I will sick my dogs on you.
I don't begrudge anyone for closing their comments if they want to. You absolutely have the right to do that. I'm just simply stating why I'm not interested in doing that personally. Or I mean, maybe I'll get a video that has a completely toxic comment section.
You
that I will
already have
close.
one. What about
I
your
just
Final
haven't
Fantasy
reached it.
VII video? Those,
But that's the thing.
those
That
apes
is
in there.
definitely a toxic place where people
Toxic.
people don't fucking understand anything. I mean, the half the people who watch it vote it down. They don't understand my points, and it's simply them, you know, being ignorant of the facts. But even then, I like to think that it's something that could be witnessed by people who do get it, and they could be like, wow, there's something to be learned from this kind of comment section, you know?
All right, so first of all, everyone listening, I'm not bad at interrupting. I just rolled a bunch of bad rolls a bunch of times in a row. That's why I
Okay.
was so bad at interrupting for 7 minutes there. I'm a good interrupter. Second of all right, commenter rule number one.
Wait, let me interrupt you real quick, Devu. I got to say that I'm probably the best interrupter.
Wait,
okay,
did-
go on.
did you
Actually,
just-
I have to
did you
interrupt
just-
both of you.
Did you just compare interrupting to like rolling a D&D die? Because that's pretty
Yes, he
fucking
did.
funny. I like that. That's a really good analogy.
I actually,
You don't know
I have
how
to
much-
cut off. I have to cut off everybody because Devu, I don't want you to say what your number one rule is. It can be rule number 2 because I already had planned what rule
All right,
number
cool.
1 was.
yeah,
I'm gonna
let's
explain
get
rule
into the
number 2
specific
first.
things
So,
one at a time.
rule number 2, make friends on Skype and bitch about YouTube videos there, because we do that constantly. We constantly make comments.
That's because we
about
make
Reddit
videos and we know how annoying
each
they can be
other.
to read, so
And
we
I'm
say
sure
all our
even
shit
if
in
you're just- I'm sure
private.
even if you're just a big fan of videos, then you probably have a whole lot of bitchy thoughts you want to think about and stuff that makes you mad. That's perfectly understandable.
Man.
So just hunt down people who watch the same kind of videos, complain with them, and then everything is going good. That's the
Man,
natural
let me tell
order
you
of
about
things.
Let me tell you about a feature that I didn't appreciate back when I had it, but now I really miss it, which is there used to be this thing called Google Reader, and it was an RSS feed reader where you'd have, like, you know, all the, basically any blog you follow, you would plug its feed into your Google Reader. It's kind of like subscribing to something on YouTube. It would be a list of all the blogs that you're following, right? And you could share, you could take something from that feed and share it with your friends on Google, and then you could have your own comment section for that post. So let's say I posted something on my blog, and then my blog has its own comment section where people are responding to me, but then if someone shared the thing on Google Reader, then they could just talk about it with their friends. And it would give us the opportunity to speak more critically about the post without having to say stuff right to the guy's face that maybe would be annoying or, you know, or defeat the point or derail the conversation. So I think that is definitely something that should be done. I think there's too many people who respond to your video with comments that aren't helpful for you or for other viewers of the video. They're just the guy.
I don't know. I think this
having his own-
whole wall of separation you want to put up between the person who made it and the people who are commenting on it. I'm not sure that's a good thing.
That is not what I'm describing.
Okay.
I'm describing having 2 places to discuss the video.
Yeah, all right.
One that you could could you imagine if all of us took the shit that we say about like the average like brony reviewer and we said all that in their comments?
It'd be a
would
nightmare.
fucking ruin their life. You know,
We would
they
be
would
bad
hate it. They
people.
would fucking delete their channel and kill themselves if they had us doing that. Because we have this chat, we can openly criticize and discuss people's videos.
So you're saying there's a time and a place for certain comments, and you know,
I'm saying that those comments would not be appropriate on the video.
Right. I think
When
the
people
point
leave-
is that being on the internet and having a comment section isn't an excuse to ignore human decency.
Yes. Like you should
As a proud 4chaner, I disagree.
for the same reasons that you wouldn't like okay, you know, I have all my friends, right? My offline friends, because
Yeah.
we all talk together all the time. I don't think any of us really just like splits off into one-on-one groups and talks shit about each other. At least I don't.
As far as
I don't
you
about
know,
you
as
guys.
far as you
Yeah.
know.
But like, you know, in real life,
I talk to
you got all
myself
your
about
friends,
how much I hate you all.
Yeah, right.
You've got all your friends, and you split off with one of them, and you might talk shit about all the other friends.
Yeah.
But it's not because you don't like them. You just want to vent your feelings about them, right?
Right,
And if you
right.
brought those things up to that person, they might be hurt or offended, and it might, you know, put a damper on your relationship in a way that you didn't intend to, because you're just venting feelings that inside you can deal with because you want to be friends with that guy, but you know,
Yeah.
maybe you
That's
want to
what
complain about them to someone
friendship
else.
and human decency is based on. It's having the
Right.
respect for someone to shit on them privately.
And you
But
know,
that
one of the
YouTube
reasons why
sphere
that's
is
part
not
of human
a
decency.
friendship. The
Part of
YouTube
the-
sphere is a place where you put ideas and then people shit on them because that's just the
I
way
don't
they
think,
feel like
but
doing
that's the
it.
thing. I don't think it.
I don't know if they should
think it
do it
makes
that
sense
way.
to be that way. Like
Yeah,
I said, there's never a time like if we all watched Batman v Superman,
Yeah,
and we all
yeah.
thought it was a huge piece of shit. No one walks up to Zack Snyder on the street and goes, "Your movie's a fucking piece of shit."
I might.
We make internet
I might.
videos. We posted on our blogs for our audiences for us to discuss with our friends. We don't go up to the fucking guy and tell him he's a piece
But
of
I mean,
shit because he made a
isn't
movie
that
we kinda
possibly
didn't like.
worse? That you're like creating, you're sharing this opinion with all these people. I mean, they probably haven't formed an opinion yet. I mean, if you're doing that, aren't you convincing these people to maybe be that guy and to engage in
I'm
that?
convincing them to feel the way I feel, but not to confront Zack Snyder himself.
Well,
with
obviously,
it.
yeah.
Not to go up to the guy and tell him he's a bad person because he made a movie I kind of
I don't know. Though, like, doesn't he need to hear that? Like, dude, your movie fucking sucked. Do a better
Not
job next
necessarily,
time.
because he's just doing what he.
I don't know how
we
many
don't, we
shitty
don't know
Hollywood
his
movies do we have to get
intentions.
before they hear some real criticism about how fucked up it
I mean,
all is?
sure. From the perspective of like business,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
if the people who are paying him are listening to the commenters because they care about making good movies, then it's up to them to tell him, hey, we don't like what you're doing, and we're not going to let you have this budget. But Zack Snyder himself, we don't know what his intentions are. Maybe he doesn't give a fuck about making good movies. He's just doing what he feels like doing, and that's completely fine.
That's not fine. That's not fine that we have to be subjected to shit art and then no one's allowed to
But it's
criticize
not
him to
really,
his face. I mean,
it's not really his, like, okay, who's giving him the power to make Batman v
look,
Superman?
we have to blame
you know?
someone for the result of a bad
Okay,
movie.
well, also,
Blame the fucking
who are we
producers.
to say that it's shit art in the first place?
It's true.
I thought that
Right.
Batman v Superman was laughably, hilariously a fucking train wreck, like on the level of The Room, and I thought for sure that this would be the unanimous opinion, that everyone would
Yeah.
agree with me that it was a fucking train wreck of a movie. And then I talked to fucking Gargak on Facebook, and he's like, "That was the best movie ever. Anyone who complains about it is a nitpicking faggot." So then I have to step back and go, "Oh, well, maybe I am a nitpicking faggot. I don't fucking know. Shit."
Well, that's the whole thing, because
I think
we
we
can
can't
talk
get into
about
a
it
whole
from this
discussion about the
perspective.
subjectivity of art because that's a whole different thing. Once you come to a conclusion about something,
no,
Well,
I
I'm
think
backing
I
up
think it is
Digi's point. Like,
important.
I wouldn't go up to Zack
Because-
Snyder and say, "Fuck you, your movie sucks."
Right. I had a comment on my Reddit the other day, because I have my own Reddit board, and people will often post my videos on there and, like, you know, have more private discussions about them, like, with me, because I'm more likely to read and respond to longer comments on there. And one guy left a long comment about my erased video, basically saying that it wasn't that helpful for like, essentially he was saying that it didn't represent a broad opinion, or it didn't represent, like, you know, his, like, how most people felt about the show and stuff like that.
Why does that simpering
like,
little puke think it needs to?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but that's kind of what I said in response. Is I was like, I mean, I completely understood his complaints, and I was just like, this video is really for me, though. It's not really about, like, it's not, like, this was not supposed to be helpful for everybody. It was supposed to be helpful for a very certain
as I'm
subset
listening
of
to this
people.
conversation, I'm trying to imagine what a commenter person listening to this podcast is thinking, and I'm thinking that they're thinking, yo, I wasn't trying to be insulting. I didn't call him a faggot. I didn't call him any names. All I did was point out some mistakes that they made in their video, and then they flipped on me.
Because they were
you
wrong.
guys are the
Okay,
ones
you know what?
overreacting. So here's my parameters, right? Here are my 3 conditions for, I think you guys would agree, but here are my conditions for, like, criticism in any capacity that I would respect or like versus ones I don't. First parameter is, do you know what you're talking about? Did you really put in the thinking? Did you put in the thought? Did you apply critical thinking? All right. 2.
Okay.
Do you have tact? Are you acting like a normal person? Are you not being an asshole? Parameter number 3, is your criticism effort? Was there much effort into it? Was it a piece of art? Was your criticism a work of its own, or was it just 2 sentences of a complaint? Because that's kind of annoying sometimes.
I don't think there's anything wrong with a simple complaint that gets to the point.
Okay, you don't need to have all 3 conditions, right? But
okay, sure.
Because I think people are going to say that we're being
let me-
hypocritical because of the
Let me
fact
try to boil that down a little bit, because I think what you're getting to the heart of here is people who say that that you can't take criticism, right?
Right. I gotta say, the longer I hold on to my thoughts, the more nervous
like-
I get. For some reason, if I take too long to say my things, I freak out and I
I'm
explode.
back. Did anybody miss
Calm the
me?
fuck down.
Hey, Gib.
yeah,
you know,
I didn't know you were
like
gone.
a comment like
I think a lot of
that
people
video
are gonna
sucked.
I think a lot of people are gonna say you guys are being hypocritical because you guys make criticisms. Like,
I don't
who
think
cares
Right.
if it's
Here's my response to that. All right, because people say like, you know, you can't take criticism when you delete their critical comments, and I have to get to the heart of what I think
Right,
criticism
that's an
is
oversimplification.
and what I think we're doing. Because like me and Jesse said, we don't post these to the guys who make the stuff we're talking about.
Yeah.
We just post these opinions online, which is our reactions to the things that we see that are entirely about us. Like, there's a reason my channel is called Otaku Gonzo Journalism, because it's about me. It's about my perspective. I don't send my SAO videos to Reki Kawahara and tell him he's doing a bad job. And the reason that I don't is because, to me, constructive criticism has to be from the perspective of understanding what the artist was trying to do. Because it's not constructive if you don't know what I was going for. Like that erased guy who was saying that his problem with the video was that I didn't, you know, appeal to a broader audience, and he was saying this is a problem with your video, and I'm like, but that wasn't my goal with the video. My goal was to appeal to this specific type of person and to myself. The fact that everybody got to see the video is just because that's the platform by which it will reach the people it has to reach. I don't know, I can't, like, go out and find each individual who felt a certain way about a race and just send them
But that's
the
just
video.
something that you accept by using this medium of YouTube. You know,
Right.
it's
But the fact that that guy's comment isn't it's not a point he's making somewhere else. He's making it directly to me, and to tell me, hey, you did it wrong.
Now hang on, I think
it's like,
that's,
well,
that's
I
also
didn't
too
I
simple.
didn't intend to do what you think I intended.
I think
to
he's
do,
making it
you know?
that comment to the other viewers of the video.
No, because he posted it on my Reddit.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Never
like
mind
straight.
then.
Like, I'm the only one who would be
I
reading
think
it, you know?
I realize that I feel this way. Wrong criticism is worse to me than just insulting me for no reason. Because when you fucking lobby some criticism at my art that is fundamentally based on a misinterpretation or a misunderstanding of my intent, and you throw that criticism out there as though it's valid, other people are going to see it and think that it's valid, and they're going to view my shit through that lens.
But sometimes, I know it's going to sound crazy, but sometimes they're right.
No, they're
And,
fucking
you know,
not. No,
I want-
They can't be right about
fucking
your
video that I've
intent.
ever put out
That's
is
your
perfect. You know why I know
intent.
that?
Judge who's
Because
right.
if it wasn't perfect, I wouldn't have fucking uploaded it. I know what I'm fucking
Sometimes
created, and
people
I
make
know what my
mistakes,
intent
Jesse.
is,
People
and they
make
don't.
mistakes.
I'm Endless Jess, and you're not. All of you are not. All of you listening to this fucking podcast, please fucking kill yourselves.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't think that the creator should be the end-all be-all sayer of what is correct, what is wrong about the video.
I absolutely
want people to
believe
be able
that.
to judge that
I
themselves.
am the
Well,
sole
here's the
arbiter
thing.
of what
If
my
you have people
videos are,
misunderstanding
what
your
they mean.
videos, is that a
Yeah.
failing on the audience or is that a failing on you of
Well,
communicating?
you know
failing
what?
on you,
Here's what,
honestly. Both
here's what
of you.
pisses me off. People misunderstanding my video, fine. But you know what pisses me off? Me calmly explaining what they misunderstood
And
with
ignoring
very
it.
nice wording, and then I
Yeah,
either
yeah.
get no reply or they continue to double down on it. You know what I would like? I would like I would like people to exercise just a little bit of humility. You know?
Yeah.
That's-
I'd turn that
an
right back
impossible
to you.
That's
Maybe
another
you're
thing,
wrong
Vivu.
about your points, you know?
The lack of humility. When people are not just like wrong or like not just misinterpreting the video or misinterpreting something you did, but like stubbornly wrong. Like you respond to them, they'll say, "Well, this video sucks and you suck because this reason, and then you go,
Dude,
"Well,
you know
actually, actually what I was trying to do was this," and then they still stick to it. Like, no, you're right because of what I just, and it's like I just told you that wasn't my intent. You little fucking slimy protozoa. You don't deserve.
Dude, all right. I hear what you're saying. Let me read you something, because okay, I've got a here's
No,
an example of something,
no,
right?
no,
on my
quit
first
interrupting
Gurren
me.
Lagann video,
You can't
on my
contain
first,
this rage.
Listen to this.
It has to be
On my-
let out. I have to let
on my
it out.
on my first Gurren Lagann video, right? There's been this thread going on for like since it came out, which is like a fucking year now almost. It's been like a
Really?
year, and this
Wow.
one argument has been going on for like fucking the entire time.
Brilliant.
And just the other day, I finally commented on it myself and was like, guys, this argument has been going back and forth about how shit Gurren Lagann is or how not shit it is for like a fucking year. It's time to end it. No one is budging. Let us end the conflict now. And you know what happened? They were both, the two people who were arguing were like, you know what, dude, you're right. Let's just move on. And I mean, now some other fucking idiots are commenting on, or like, they're like reviving the argument.
See,
and these
you
guys
could-
are actually
you
commenting
could
on
have
it saying
just
like,
banned
dude,
them both
hang
the
on,
first
dude.
time it happened a year ago, and you wouldn't be dealing with it ever again.
But but these people grew, you know? These people were able to
That's
learn something
another
about
that's another
themselves and
bannable
achieve.
offense. Actually, now that you bring it up, people talking amongst themselves on my video.
That is very
Fuck
annoying
you.
when
You're
they do
fucking
that.
banned.
No, you know what
I don't
I
want
like?
that shit.
This is
My
the thing
video
that
was
really
not a
pisses me
place
off.
something
to
good,
fucking
something
loiter
good came
outside
from
and
this,
talk
from
to
this
your
otherwise
buddies.
cancerous thread. Something finally good came of it. These two people came to an understanding about each other, and I think that's valuable. You
But
know,
you
it
know
annoyed me
what-
for a
what kinda
while, but
pisses
something
me
I
off?
guess. I mean, to me, I just think they realize they're sinking too much time into it, and they didn't
Yeah.
learn anything. They're gonna go right back to arguing with other people.
But see, they did it until I stepped in and told them what's up. You know, I
But-
think that was a
but that kind
teachable
of-
moment, and I
That's
took advantage.
something that I'm
That's
not
probably
a huge
the
fan
only
of.
one that's ever happened.
Well, then I'm a
97
fucking that shows the value of comments. I fucking broke new ground.
Fine.
There
But
you
you know,
go.
97
They're
million
garbage.
percent of the time.
I
that
wanna-
All
hear-
right, guys,
I
shut
wanna
up.
run
Let
'em
Tom
over with my
let Tom
car.
talk. God damn.
Me too, Jess.
We're gonna get so many fucking comments about how we all talked over each other. It's gonna be a
true.
Oh, that's
fucking
another
We all-
bannable
we
offense.
all
I'm
have a
glad you
lot to
brought that
say
up,
that,
Digi. I'm glad you
clearly.
brought up that one because all you fucking maggots out there who listen to podcasts and complain about people talking over each other, have you ever fucking been in a situation or spoken to other human beings? Have you ever been in a social fucking interaction situation? Do you not understand? Of course you haven't, because you're all fucking autists. You don't understand how friends fucking communicate with each other. This is a podcast. We're gonna fucking talk over each other because we're friends having a conversation. Have you never fucking had a Thanksgiving dinner with your family? You stupid fucking swine!
Also, this is over Skype, and there's a delay, so the talking over is significantly worse than it would be if you all went to our
You're
Patreon.
talking
so
over
there's
each
enough money
other.
to create analysis HQ.
I can't understand what's happening because you're talking over each other. Why can't everyone just ring a little bell and wait their turns to say what they want to say? Why can't
All right,
everything
Tom.
be orderly
Tom,
and
what
safe?
were you saying?
I would kind of like a little bell.
Well,
Tom, were you saying something
point,
before?
I mean, I have a couple points I want to make, but I'll save them for when they're more appropriate. The one that I want to kind of jump off of from what you were talking about with your comment section is something that really kind of pisses me off. And,
Yeah.
and again, I agree with everything Digi's saying. Like, I think everything he says is valid. Like, I think there's definitely like an etiquette you should probably be following. But I also agree with you because I've never banned anyone on my comments. I very
me neither.
rarely delete comments because I just think like it's an open platform, whatever. Like, I can think you're wrong, but I'm not going to stop you. But what I was going to say, something that really pisses me off in my comment section and just comment sections in general is when people use the YouTube comment section as their YouTube channel. Like, if you're going to make a
Yeah.
huge, long-winded, big fucking counter argument, like, that's the reason video responses exist. You know, every time, like...
I thought those disappeared.
Well, I mean, you
Oh, you
can
mean
st-
just
you can
making a video,
make them,
yeah.
Which is real... It still pisses me off that they got rid of those.
Me too.
But, like, how many times have you seen other people, like, put the script of a video in the comments?
Yeah.
And it's just like...
Yeah.
You're just trying to hijack this. Like,
Yeah, I really wish they could just make another video, because that's much easier to ignore.
Your own channel and do it.
It's funny you should say
That's
that, because
what
I dumped basically an entire script about one of Jeff's NHK videos, and it was probably like one of the longest things I've written.
You're the problem,
Just
then,
dumped.
clearly.
Well, here's the thing.
Yep.
And I brought this up in my video on closing comments, and Nate, I think that's excusable because you and Jeff are friends. So like,
yeah, right.
So you can like it. It's always different.
We've been having this
when we have
argument for like a week anyway, so.
Right, and there's differences when you have context for it. Like Jeff also left a huge comment on my Erased video, but I completely saw that coming because me and Jeff have been debating Erased for a long time,
Right.
And it was relevant.
That poor
it was even
misguided
relevant
man.
to our audiences that they've listened to us argue about Erased. So him leaving a comment on the video is kind of continuing the narrative in a way that I actually appreciate. But like, I think that with what Tom was saying, like I raised this point in my closing comments video that you all have platforms. I have a YouTube channel. You can make a YouTube channel. I have a blog. You can make a blog.
Which is
And
why
yeah,
the whole free
not
speech
necessarily-
argument is completely invalid and does
Right,
not
exactly.
doesn't stack up.
And people will say, because I've had this argument before where someone was like, well, are you saying that, like, because you're already a big YouTuber, so if you say something, then everybody's going to hear it, but if I want to respond to it, then that means I have to go make a
put
whole
in your
YouTube
fucking
channel.
5
again.
years
And I'm
of
like,
YouTube,
yeah,
dude, and
exactly.
Yeah,
The
you've
reason
earned
I
that
get...
audience.
Yeah.
The reason I get to have this platform is because I write in a way that other people understand and appreciate.
Fuck
I have
these
opinions
farmers,
that people
dude.
relate
Fuck these
to.
farmers who just
you
go
know?
out one day and harvest like 1 million acres of food. What, like, did they earn that shit? They didn't do shit. They just woke up one day and they did that. It's not like they spent a fucking 6 months plowing that field, sowing the field, growing the fucking laboring
like here's the
over
kind
it.
of
They just
bad.
fucking reap
Here's
the
the
benefit.
like comments can be
Stick
really
my
bitchy.
dick
Comments
in
can
everyone's
criticize
fucking
me.
mouths. I see their fucking putrid comments, and it's like I'm looking into a sea of people, and they've all got their fucking jaws hanging open because they want a dick in their mouths.
Here's
That's
really the
all
thing
I
that
fucking
always gets
see.
to me is the fact that these comments don't have a whole lot of effort. They didn't put in a whole lot of critical thought, because comments are literature. They're a very low form of literature, but that's what they are. Literature is art.
They're
I expect
shiterature.
you to put in. I expect you to put in some effort, some creative effort.
I'm glad you like
and
that,
here's
did
the thing: no matter how bitchy a comment is, or how much it criticizes me, how much I disagree with it, how much it could even personally insult me. Personal attacks are far less insulting to me than people trying to postulate that my video is something different
Fuck
than
up
it is.
the argument.
Comment
Yeah.
can be anything, but if I think it's funny and cleverly worded, I'll let it pass and maybe even thumb it up.
Yeah,
'cause
I
you can
will
earn
too,
my
of course.
respect.
Oh no,
But the
nothing
problem is
pisses
that
me
the
off more than
vast,
commenters
vast,
thinking
vast
they're funny.
majority- the vast
Well,
majority of
sometimes
these comments
they
are, just
are
like,
funny,
oh, you shouldn't
but,
do
like-
this. Oh, you shouldn't do that. And they're just not clever. It's just a big waste of my time, and that's the thing that makes me want to delete it.
There's
And
one
here's-
important point that I want to bring up in regards to that, and it's just that I've been defending the usefulness of comments, but there is a reality on the other side of that argument. That is, there may in fact come a time. Solidus Snake from Metal Gear Solid 2, he knew what was up. One day, it is possible that any intelligent argument will be just completely drowned out by the walls of idiocy and just piled on.
Right.
Everyone is wrong about everything, and they drown
And
out
that's
any
why
kind
we
of
have a
correct argument.
responsibility to
And
ban
that-
people who say stupid shit.
I think that may in fact come a time when that's the case, and already it's not worth the time, probably.
Yeah,
like
Nate,
practically.
I have
to
videos that have
foster
gotten
that
like
shit.
twice the number of comments that your Gurren Lagann, your Final Fantasy video has, and it's like it was at that level, at that point where
Yeah.
it just gets too much for me. And by the way, the reason why I'm so ethically okay with banning is because it saves them time too. They're not banned from other
Well,
videos.
I don't
wouldn't
that's
do
not
that
true,
for
That's why I
my
like
because
the
that's
idea of
shadow
shadow
ban.
banning,
You can
because
ban
it doesn't
anyone you
save them
want.
time. They're suffering
Oh, yeah.
and I'm not. That's what I like about it.
I don't think you
You're
need
right,
to
never
I'm a
mind.
just
I have
sadist
like
about
more
it.
now.
You can ban every single person who comments at all if you wanted. That'd be totally. I have no problem with that because it's
That's
your
my
shit. You
dream.
can do
My
whatever you
dream is
want.
to wake up one morning and look into my empty comment section and see that I've banned everyone and that the
I
world
just
is
don't know if
quiet
it's
for once.
necessarily wise. One day, Jesse, you'll get there.
I consider it important because, and I've been writing about this for years, even before I was nearly as big as I am, that the way to get a good comment section is by curating it, because people will put more effort into your comments if A, they know you read them,
Yeah.
B, you sometimes respond to them, and C, they see that the other comments are good.
I'm just a
reason that-
laissez-faire idealist, I guess. I just think that if I don't do anything, hope maybe there's a chance more good things will come as a result. It's just it's just my philosophy.
I mean, like, if you look at PBS Idea Channel's comments,
Yeah.
like I don't know if they delete or do anything like that, but because everyone knows that they have a whole comment response thing that
Yeah,
they've always
yeah.
done, people leave by far the best comments on YouTube on PBS Idea Channel. Every comment will be some long, like, thought out, really intricate response to the video because everyone wants to get read on the next episode's comments thing.
It's a cool
And, like,
strategy.
you know, even I've written some really detailed comments on there, and I've been read in a video
And
before.
yeah, you were just
So-
mentioned on a video of theirs.
Well,
not
that
too
was
long
for
ago.
for
That
a
was something
different
else,
reason,
but yeah.
I have tried to foster that in my comment section the whole time it's been around. I respond to like the most interesting or intelligent comments or anything I have something to say in response to. I actually like seeing conversations on my videos when they aren't arguments. When people get into long arguments, that's when it's like, all right, just shut down the whole fucking thread. But like when people just discuss things, that can be really cool because it means that like I've created, you know, dialogue between people, and I like
Yeah.
that. That's why I don't just close comments on all my videos, because again, I like the comments, but to me, if I want to keep my comments being good, then I have to ban the people who are just spamming bullshit. I have to delete the comments that are just fucking stupid, because if people scroll down to your comment section and all they see is a bunch of dumb bullshit, then you get stuff like with my erased video where every fifth comment is someone talking about how shitty the comments are. It's like, I can't believe how butthurt everyone is over Erased. Oh, half the people are saying it's shit, and the other half are defending it like it's amazing. Blah blah, and like all these comments about the comments, and I'm like,
Digi,
this is
you
a problem.
You said penultimate when you actually meant ultimate. Let me just leave a quick
We'll
comment
get into that
about
too.
that.
We haven't even. We're
Yeah,
40
we
minutes
haven't-
into this, and we haven't even actually started laying
We haven't
down my
started any
rules
specific
there, man.
things that we done.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe we should
remember
start
it's just
that
been
now.
venom
Well,
thus
I-
far.
I'm gonna go ahead and say what my first rule is, because I wanted to say this at the very beginning of the podcast because people will have already broken it.
Yeah.
The first rule of good comments, this is absolute, never break this. Do not publish a comment before you finish the fucking video.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's probably
YouTube
the
should
most
make that a
important one.
feature. YouTube should make that a feature, a button you can press.
That'd be
Yeah,
that'd
that
be good
would be
actually.
fantastic.
Here's how you do it, guys. If you have something to say about something that was said at the very beginning of a video, type it out and then don't hit publish.
Yeah.
Wait until the video's over, because there's a good chance that it's going to be addressed. Like, for instance, on my video about anime getting lazy with its meta, there was a lot of people who would comment things like, did you mix up Ava and Gundam on purpose? And then they would come back, like,
Yeah.
they would leave a second comment like, oh, now I get it. Because the whole video was full of
I like what you're
farcical
doing, Digi.
information.
You're not only laying out a rule, you're expressing how to do it correctly. You're applying that.
Yeah,
See, PCP is
exactly.
teaching you people how
all
to live.
you have to do is type, and I do this all the time. I'll watch it like on, I think there was one of Devu's videos where like I had responses to like 6 different points. Did this happen, Devu? Did I have a video where I had like 6 different little micro paragraphs? Because what I'll do is I'll respond to, like, I'll type
I
out
don't
whatever my
recall.
thought is on what's actually no better example, the TBAP Q&A.
Oh yeah.
I did this on the TBAP Q&A. They would answer a question. I would type out like something if I had to say it in response, and then I'd just go down to the next line in the comment, and I'd wait. And then once the video was over, I had like 6 different points, and I published it, and they were all there. Nothing is worse than the guys who actually leave a comment after every single thing they have to respond to.
Yeah.
I get some of those on Digibros where there's this one kid who will like respond to like 8 times to phrases that we said throughout the video, and I'm like, dude, just type it all out in one comment. You can even edit. You can edit comments.
Yeah.
But like,
true.
for fuck's sake, wait till the video's over. We might have addressed what your complaint was, and if we haven't, then you can fucking leave a comment, which will probably be ignored.
Can
What
I
these
move
people
on
don't
to another
realize is that
rule?
every single time they leave a pointless comment, I get a notification for it, and I have to go through that emotional roller coaster of saying, maybe it'll be a decent comment, maybe, and I have to click on it, and then it comes up, and it's like my fucking dog died all over again every single time that I see
I don't-
nothing
the,
worth
Jesse,
looking
my
at.
my
get
advice
the
is
extension to turn off your notifications device.
yeah, I've had the notifications disabled for like 2
But then
years
how will
now.
I know who to ban?
Because
Well,
I
you go to the
read all my
comments page.
comments through the comments page in my creator studio, because
Yeah.
that way I can
don't
read
do
the
that.
whole comment.
I'm not
and do
interested
the
in
weird
solutions. I'm
click on
interested in
shit.
my commenters killing themselves and dying.
related to
anyways-
that, speaking of accountability, another rule. I don't know. We're on two or three or whatever. Here's an important
rule
rule.
number 3.
Always, every commenter, number 3, every commenter must enable replies. This is non-negotiable.
Yes.
You
You know,
must
this
allow
hasn't been an
people
issue
to
lately.
reply.
Have you guys even been seeing this?
I have actually.
I
There's
haven't
this
been
guy-
seeing this in a
there's
while.
this-
There is
This-
nothing more disgustingly cowardly than putting
Well,
something
here's the
out
thing,
there.
Nate. I don't think any of them know they're doing it.
That's
Yeah, it
true.
was just some
That's true.
stupid Google thing.
The problem is that with the responses thing, it's that if you have you can mark in your YouTube options
Yeah.
I can only be responded to if I'm in your contacts, and people will have that checked without realizing that it means no one can respond to their comments.
I kind of disagree with that one because
Really?
I really hate people responding to my comments. I hate getting replies to my comments, and I've often considered turning off replies on my comments.
Wow.
I think what the
You're
real
a little
issue
bitch,
is
and a little bitch, and a little bitch. if
more
you
like
turn
a
off
fucking
your
hero,
replies.
Nate. I'm a fucking hero and a
No,
badass because I don't
no,
have time
you
to
just
put up with
hack
that
into
shit,
a
and
man's
I don't want
world.
to hear their stupid bullshit because they're fucking
My
wrong and
problem
gay and
with-
dumb and gay and dumb and gay and
If
dumb.
you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen.
My
They're in
problem
my
with the
fucking
people
kitchen
who-
when they're shitting all over men and replying to my shit. I'll fucking take a fucking spatula, I'll shove it up their nose, I'll go up their nose with a rubber hose, and I'll spray their fucking...
Oh, so you meant
I
like
hate 'em.
replying? You mean like you can reply to them, but they can't reply to you? But this is like replies in your comment section.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
saying
okay,
that
well,
I'm
everywhere
trying
you
to
comment.
fucking
I'm
finish.
saying that-
I'm saying
I think
it's not
people
just...
who-
The problem is not just only not having replies enabled. The problem is particularly when they ask you a question and then don't have
Yes.
replies
Oh, okay.
enabled.
Yeah,
That's what
without
I was
a
trying
doubt.
to
That
We
is
can all
the
agree
worst.
there.
That happens to me
It's
a
when
lot.
they ask. The problem is that they don't seem to realize that they have.
That's a
replies
bannable
disabled.
offense right there. I
And
don't want them
there's this
shitting
one-
up my shit with that.
I almost feel I sometimes feel sorry for them because I can tell they don't know,
Right.
and I have no way to tell them because I
Right.
can't respond. Like there's this dude. If you listen to this dude, I'll bring this up on Digibro sometimes once I actually remember. There's this dude named Redler Red who responds to a lot of Digibros episodes with like fairly well thought out comments, but he has replies disabled, and he'll like ask questions.
Oh
or,
no! How
you know,
long has he
like-
been doing
like,
this?
For months,
God,
and he has
he thinks you don't love him, Digi. He's gonna actually commit suicide.
he's
Not
never like
responding.
asked about it. He's never like responded like, "Hey, how come you don't reply to my comments or something?" But it's like there's no way. And I get a lot of those people who like ask like questions, sometimes questions that I really want to answer, but I can't do anything about it. And it's just like you're fucked. I can't do anything. You don't have replies enabled. I have no way to contact you to inform you of this information. You know, so like yeah, please enable your fucking responses. If you didn't know that was a thing, now you know. Make sure you have it enabled. If no one's ever responded to your comments and you're not sure why, this is probably why. But yeah,
Wouldn't that be funny if there's like some really unlikable person who's like, oh, that must be why. They go and they see it's not true, and that's the moment where they break and actually kill themselves.
Holy shit! That's great.
I really hope we can see that in the news.
Oh God.
There'll be a picture of all of us. These
Yeah.
podcasters, you know, and
They
It
thought
will be
they
in the
just
news.
had disabled their comments, but really nobody likes them.
Oh no.
all right. Let's move on.
I got
to
one.
another-
I got a problem.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Unsolicited advice, and this
Yes.
this is
Okay.
a big one. It happened on my fuck updates video, which the worst thing ever happened. It went viral, which
Oh,
means
yeah.
I got a bunch
Yeah.
of fucking normies commenting on it with their
Nothing's
stupid
worse
shit.
than that.
And it also happened on a
I
recent
know where
video
this is going.
that I made called Just Ramblin', where like also this goes hand in hand with watching the whole video before you comment, because a lot of my videos, they tend to not be what they appear to be, and you don't
Yeah,
see that
yeah.
until later. So I got a lot of people commenting without finishing it and giving me unsolicited advice, because the first half of the video is that I'm going on this really retarded, rambly, like wrong, like I'm totally wrong in a lot of places in the rant. I say stupid shit. I'm like empirically wrong. I get facts wrong. I completely miss the obvious solutions right in front of me, and I admit that, but that's the point. I wouldn't upload it if I wasn't aware of it. So like the whole point of that first part where I'm going on this long-winded, retarded rant is because it leads into the bigger point when I start walking around outside my house and go on a little adventure. And people don't get that. They just assume that I'm some run-of-the-mill douchebag swivel chair reviewer, you know, sending out a video to my audience, please help me with this problem, I need your genius advice. And they don't check to see if anyone else has left the same comments they're leaving. That's another thing. You should
Oh,
check
yeah.
That's a big
if
one. That's
someone
a
else
big
has
one.
left
I'm gonna
the
get
same
into
comment.
that.
So
read
it's
the
just,
other comments.
so it's millions. They're all the same fucking comment. Well, if you can't find it, you should try this website, or you should download this media player. And it's like, motherfucker, if you are watching the video, it's safe to say I've solved the fucking problem already. Or else you wouldn't be watching the fucking video because it wouldn't exist. You idiots.
This is what YouTube needs. Have you ever gone to like a help desk or a forum before, and you start typing in a question, and all the related things come up? It's like, is this what you want? Is this the question you're looking for?
It's
YouTube needs that.
My
true.
audience, they can't seem to just accept
You
that
know,
I
YouTube
am
has that.
smarter
It's
than
called
them.
Control
I just
F.
want to make that like a public
Yeah.
service
Before you leave a
announcement
fucking
right
comment,
now
do a
for
search.
everyone who watches my videos. I am smarter than you. Okay? If you think that you have some advice or some solution, I guarantee you that I've already thought of it and already done it, or addressed it in the very video that you're watching if you will fucking finish the video before you comment. Okay? You don't need to give me advice. I don't want your advice. I'm not asking for your advice. I'm asking for you to sit down, shut your fucking mouth, and let me do my thing like the genius that I am. You
So
fucking
Jesse,
peons.
do you just leave comments open because you want the praise? Because it's everything you're saying so far just sounds like, fuck all comments.
Yes, well, okay. I would love to live in a world where good comments that are thoughtful and that are relevant and like well written and spelled correctly and articulate. I would love for that. You know what I call those commenters who leave good comments? I call them angels because they don't fucking exist. I
Remember
would
that time,
love for
Jesse?
them to
Remember that
exist.
time shortly after Horseshoe Finale came out when all those great comments were appearing, all those crazy theories about the video?
Yes,
and people were
that was
speculating?
awesome.
That was a wonderful
That was
time.
the best thing ever. And but it's drowned out. It's totally it's a drop in the pond compared to all the
Solidus
shit.
should have blown it all up because that information got drowned
Exactly.
out. He was
Solidus
right.
was
he
right.
needs to kill Raiden. Solidus is always right. He was the hero. The Patriots are evil.
Those fucking the once in a great fucking eon when someone writes a comment that means something like you inspired me or something or actually picks something up in the video that actually was my intention and actually theorizes and gets it right for a change. Those guys are fucking you're all heroes to me. If you've ever left a good comment, you deserve a badge of honor. You deserve to be there should be a statue built for good commenters. There should be a hall of fame. But there's so few and far
Actually,
between.
that-
But those
that
are the people
reminds
who
me
keep
of,
me coming back. Those are the reason I don't turn off my entire comment section. And I wish there were more.
A
of them, but
commenter
there's
Hall
not.
of Fame. I've thought about doing something like that because my friend Ghost Lightning, he used to have this blog called Ghosts of Discussions, where like it was just straight up a blog where he would take the best comments from his posts and he would post them on this other blog, and like it was really interesting just because it's like he can save, and he was the one who taught me how to like make a discussion go well, because he would respond to every comment he got, like no matter how vapid, he would respond to it, and therefore he would get these like long intense discussions in his blog posts. And so I've always thought about every time I read a comment that's actually like so good that I want it to be around forever, I'm like, I really should just open up like a some kind of site. The only problem is it would take effort and I'd have to go through all my videos and find all those good comments. But like, yeah, man, a good comment, like a really good comment, if I've ever hit like on your comment, it means you're doing God's work.
You should just start doing that now going forward and make a video saying you're doing it, and then instantly everyone will start shaping up because they want to get on the
Not a
ball.
bad
You know what
idea.
are the
Not a
really
bad
good
idea. It won't
comments?
happen on every
the
video,
really good
though.
comments that really mean something is patrons and fan art. Those are the only
Those are
feedback
the
that I
ultimate
respect.
comments. Absolutely.
Yeah, Devu's rule number 4, was going to bring up myself. Read the other comments, especially if what you have is a correction. If you're just having like a raw emotional reaction to the video, it's understandable that other people might feel the same way, right? Like maybe your thoughts are, well, I agree with you on this point, and I think it's, but I feel this way about this thing. Maybe someone else has already said that, but you also feel that way. That can be valid. But if it's like, you said
I did this to Digi just the other day.
You said 2005, but it was actually 2004, and then like you don't like. You should assume that someone made that comment immediately, because when I put out a video, I get about. And by the way, going back to the fucking finish the video before you comment, I know if you haven't finished the video if you comment before it's been long enough for you to have finished the video. I'll post a video that's 20 minutes long, and it'll have fucking 20 comments on it by the time 20 minutes have passed, and I'm like,
I should just, every time I think about deleting them all, I always consider, like, I know you haven't finished it, so I should just delete all of these.
Well, they skip to the ending, they skip to the important part, That's all
You
that
should
matters.
just disable comments on every video for the length of the runtime and then open them up.
Hey, not a bad idea.
Yeah, this has been a problem on YouTube ever since Steve Wozniak first invented YouTube in 2009, back when it was only available on the Linux OS.
Steve Wozniak sounds like the name of a man who gargles balls for a living.
That's exactly
That's
what it
my
was.
comment.
Tom, the only problem with that is that you'd have to reload the page to know that comments were enabled afterwards, and I don't think a lot of people would assume that. But yeah, I think what was I saying? Right, within like minutes of my video going up, everything I've gotten wrong will usually be corrected.
Yeah.
Like if I pronounced something wrong, I'm gonna hear about it immediately. And here's the thing. I don't care that I pronounced something wrong. It does not matter.
Yeah,
it
guys,
is
you have to
fucking
understand.
irrelevant.
You have to understand. Reading a script is hard. You'll notice that all those accurate YouTubers who pronounce everything right talk like this. Hey, everyone.
Yes.
All right.
Okay,
Hello,
well, now
I
the debate
am
is starting
sorry.
because you guys are
Everybody stop
completely
right there.
wrong on
Everybody
this one.
Stop right there. Because
Pronouncing things wrong is the
you are
greatest
not
sin
allowed
that
to
any
say
human
people
being can
can't
commit.
criticize
I
you
hate it.
for fucking
It's
up
right.
your delivery. It's fucked
Who's
up.
doing that?
You make
Did
it
you-
terrible.
Ringing that
Does Gibbon have a bell?
You deserve to be criticized.
I'm ringing in my bell.
Listen, if you have ever left
No,
a comment
give it right
criticizing
the bell.
someone
Give it right the
pronunciation,
bell. It's
fucking
his
kill
turn.
yourself.
I did it the other
Please.
day.
No,
You know
you
why?
deserve to
Because
be
Super
criticized
Bunny
if you
Hop
fuck
sent the
something up.
company, and he
I'm
pronounced
sorry.
it
Kill
like a
yourself,
fly,
Jesse.
and it-
Kill yourself.
Look,
You
if I-
deserve to
no,
die.
if I
Everyone
make a
needs to
mistake
stop
editing,
talking
if
over
I-
me. I need a bell. I'm sick of this. You guys are hurting my feelings.
Okay,
you know?
now, hey, all right, Jesse, hang on. If I make a mistake editing, and I know I made a mistake, oh shit, I made a mistake, but I uploaded it anyway. Am I immune from criticism? No, I fucked up.
Well, I don't
People are
make
gonna
Jet,
comment
mistakes,
on
Nate,
it.
so I
I
won't
don't
know.
want your fucking criticism.
Well, you're
I
gonna
don't
get it.
care.
It's the
I don't-
marketplace of ideas.
You-
had
if
a
you
fake
think-
fire
it's not a
in your
fucking
world.
marketplace.
In your world where you're going around making mistakes all the time like some rank amateur, maybe you can get corrected. But I don't make mistakes. No.
It's actually
I
pronounced amateur.
Shut the fuck up. I pronounce everything correctly all the time, and no one can ever correct me because I'm the correct guy. Get out of here.
Look,
I mean, yeah, Jesse,
if you correct my
you
pronunciation, please kill yourself.
Yeah,
I
no,
do not.
no,
If
I
you
don't
pronounce
care.
anything
I
wrong,
don't
please
fucking
kill
care.
yourself.
There's nothing I care about less. If you listen, if you correct my pronunciation, that means you understood the word well enough that you knew what the correct word
Yeah, and
was.
your delivery
Therefore,
fucking
I've
knocked them off
communicated
their
my
flow
fucking
watching
point.
the video. You fucked it up. It's a mistake.
It's not a fuck up if you understand what the word is.
Fucking
It's
not a
annoying.
fuck up if
When
The only purpose of
Guys,
words
talk
is to
about that. When I'm
communicate
getting into the
ideas. If
groove
you
of a
understand the
video, and I'm-
ideas,
and I'm
then the
listening-
word has
and I'm
been
listening intently
communicated.
to a video,
There
and
is
I'm like,
no
yes,
necessity
this
to
guy's
pronounce
doing
it a
good
certain
shit.
way.
This guy's
It is
doing good
fucking
points. I'm all
irrelevant.
about it. I want to hear
Degrees
more
of
what this
ease
guy
of
has to say.
communication
And
to
then he fucking
deliberately
throws
fuck
some
up
shit
the
out
way
there
that you're
like
speaking.
cacophony, and it just
What do you-
throws the flow of the whole video off. And
That's
I-
right.
and
Jesse's
it takes
right.
me right out of it.
Look,
It takes me out
look,
of the
it's-
experience.
It breaks
I said
immersion. It breaks
we argued
immersion.
about this the other day. I agree that if the way he said cacophony, if it's distracting and it makes the video worse for you, that's a valid feeling. But to say you pronounced it wrong is completely
Here's the thing.
irrelevant.
You should
There's
pronounce
if you
no
say
Gigi,
your
Gigi,
pronunciation has made this
People-
video worse
people
for
are
me,
not
that's
judging
fine.
your video, your visual audio medium. They're not judging it based on.
I
the
don't want
script
them to
alone.
judge it.
They're
I
not
don't care
judging
about
it.
their
It's
judgments.
a piece of art. It's a piece of progress.
I don't
looking
want
at.
to listen to their complaints
Well,
about
then
my
you should
art.
get the fuck off YouTube and go back to your crying hug
Nate,
with the rest of the
YouTube is the only place that you can release the kind of art that we're making,
If
and we
somebody
have to make the
spells my name
platform
wrong,
better.
I wanna
That's
judge
the
them.
point of
No,
this
if the
whole
name wrong is
podcast.
the
You
same
have to
thing.
face the
If you're
fire.
saying somebody's name in a video, you should have the respect for them to pronounce it correctly the way God
Have
and
respect
nature
for the-
intended. And if you're saying the name of like a word from a foreign language, like a Japanese word, you better fucking
Yeah.
pull your eyes slanted and fucking say it like they do and fucking shove a bunch of sushi
I don't
want to
hear this from the guy who makes entire videos about pronouncing everything Japanese
I don't know
wrong.
what this
joke
And that's
is
the
talking
joke
about.
of the
I pronounce
video.
Everything correctly. When I say that fucking Sega Genesis
Attack
Evangelion
on
is the greatest
Gundam
anime
is
of
my
all time,
favorite
I get it.
anime of all time. Where's the respect there, you fucking piece of
I
shit?
wasn't even
Anime
listening to what
is
you
a
said.
Japanese
I didn't even hear what
colloquialism.
you just said.
I said Attack on Gundam is my favorite anime. Where's the respect there?
What are you talking
It's a
about? Anime
joke.
is hilarious.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's
Digi,
If I'm
respectful.
pronouncing it
Blowing
wrong
it.
on
You're blowing
purpose
your
because it's
credibility
funny,
right
that's
now.
a
Your
whole lot
argument has
different than
fallen
being
through.
totally serious and accidentally being an
Okay.
idiot with the way I
You're
speak.
grasping at straws, Digi. Grasping
Jesse,
at
I
straws.
think
Listen,
what it is you haven't
There
been
is
corrected on
never
your
a time
enough.
when correcting
Because I
pronunciation
pronounce
in the
everything
comments
correctly,
makes
Daru.
you not a piece of shit.
I never make
I-
mistakes.
I-
Wrong.
I will fucking die on this hill. There is no context in which correcting my pronunciation will make me feel like you haven't become a worse person in my eyes.
You are just.
There is no
You're
context.
too sensitive, man. You gotta accept that you just make some
What is
mistakes.
sensitive
You
about
make some
that?
mistakes, and you need to be corrected.
I know I made
Well, then
mistakes.
don't
I
make
don't
them.
care.
Fix your
I
script,
don't
fix your
care.
audio. Your audio's
You
fucked
are
up. Your
shit
video is
for
objectively
complaining
worse
about it,
because
Nate.
You fucked it up. Your video is objectively worse because you made a mistake. Now correct
Nate,
it.
there's no
Make the
such thing
video
as
better.
objectivity. That's not a thing.
Now listen,
is,
I don't,
there
what
is.
you guys don't realize is, at least in earlier Digi videos, a lot of his mispronunciations were not like things that he was unaware of. Because I have a similar problem, right? I'm not as vocally talented as Jesse is, who can just amazingly put out amazing vocal performances. It's really hard.
How dare you
Like,
leave a comment on my vocal performances? How dare you say anything about anything I've done ever? I'll kill you!
Listen,
you know.
I spent. I just came out with a video that would have come out 2 days earlier, if not for the fact that I have to get up behind the microphone. I can get out maybe 5 minutes of a good performance. Then I got to go eat, work out, go to the bathroom. It takes me hours to psych myself up. And if
Oh,
I
watch out, we've got a
mispronounce
badass over
something
here
because I'm
working
talking
out.
a bit too fast or a bit too slow, maybe my tongue will slip, or it's just so hard to focus
Dude,
and
that's
also
the
get all
job.
the pronunciations
That's the
right.
job. If you can't do it, go
That's
be a
not
writer.
the fucking
Go
job.
be a
That's
writer.
fucking retarded.
Nate,
Okay,
My
it's
job
almost as
is
if-
not to
That is
pronounce
part of the
shit
job.
right.
No, I
That's
fucking
the
Listen,
job.
agonize
Make
over
it better.
Complaining-
making sure that every
It's
single
almost as if
syllable in my
people aren't the
videos is
same guy.
completely
I know for a
correct.
fact.
I
I
spend
hold myself
I'm just gonna
hours,
ring the bell
days,
again.
Of any of us
weeks
on this
recording
thing. I know
things,
that for a
just
fact.
getting
I
it
rang the
right,
bell.
just
And-
getting the
and the
sound of
fact
my
that you
voice
guys
right.
don't
It's
feel
not
that means
acceptable
your
to
content is
release
objectively
some
flawed.
subpar recording of
Nate,
my voice
I don't
saying shit
believe
wrong.
I don't believe that there's any difference between saying you pronounced that word wrong and saying you wrote your review wrong. There's no
There is a
difference.
world
You
of
don't know what
difference.
my
Of course there's a
intent
difference.
was.
Look,
My
it's-
intention
it's
was
an
not
issue.
necessarily to pronounce everything right because I don't give a fuck about pronouncing everything
Digi,
right.
if
That
you're
doesn't
not
make my
seeing-
video
if you're not
worse to
seeing,
me.
Those are two. Having a wrong script is one error. Pronouncing a word wrong in the script is another error. And
It's
it is
not.
an error because we all have a
It's
standard
not a
language that
fucking
we're using to
error
communicate.
because
No,
I
it isn't.
am
If
not
you fuck something up
necessarily
like that,
trying to
it's
write
a
something
small
Nate,
in
error that's
don't.
going to pull people
Nate,
out
what
of
makes
the
you think I
listening
want my
experience.
videos to
Nate.
be in English?
Nate,
What
we
makes you
don't
think
have
that
the
the
same
goal of my
thing.
videos is to even be in English? You don't know that. It might
Wait,
sound a
I'm-
lot.
what don't
My
I know?
video
Kinda
might
losing
sound a
me.
lot
Yeah,
like English,
you're going
but that
off
doesn't
the
mean that
rails,
that's
buddy.
what my goal is.
Digi,
Listen.
you're lost. You're in the woods now. I can't
Listen
tell
to
what's
me.
going
Look,
on.
let me break
You're
this
in- you're out
down.
in the
Let me
thick
break this
of it.
down for you, all right? I like the way the word niche sounds. I don't like
It's
the way
actually
the word
niche?
I don't like the way the word niche sounds. I like the way the word niche sounds. So when I
Dude,
read my
your
scripts, I
opinion on
typically
what is
say
correct is
niche.
not relevant
Nate,
to the English
Yes, it
language.
is, Nate, because I get to decide what I think is better
You don't get to
aesthetically
decide what is
in my
correct.
videos.
You do not get to
if
decide
you
that. That is
think
not
that
in your
niche sounds
purview.
better, then
Alright,
you can go fucking die because that's not the point of my video. Is not to appease what you
say-
want me to sound
did
like.
You say it's not the point, but
I'm
the point of
try-
every video you make is to communicate
It's
ideas.
like your
and
bell
if you fuck
deaf.
up a
I did
pronunciation
communicate the
word,
idea.
then
You
can't
knew what I
follow.
meant.
Nate, retard. Who the heck did decide the way you pronounce things, Nate?
It's
Your
in the
upbringing.
goddamn. You can look it up online how to pronounce
No,
these words. It's
different
not
American
Except you'll get
different
10 different
accents.
results.
God damn it! Shut up.
If
It's
you
not
look up
me
pronunciations
deciding who's
online,
pronouncing these words
every
in what way.
single
It's not me
pronunciation is
deciding how to
different.
pronounce them. It's a goddamn language. We have ways of pronouncing things.
That
That's the end
is
of it.
a load
We
of
have
shit.
different accents.
Everyone knows the first rule of language is that it's flexible. If you talk to anyone who studies language, they'll talk about
And
how
the
the meaning
second
and
rule of
pronunciations
language
of
is
words
that
change
if something
constantly.
sounds fucking
Cacophony
stupid
correct.
and
Cacophony
weird,
is
then you
wrong.
say it a better way.
Listen,
goodness,
I
my
want
friend.
if my goal is for everyone in the world to start saying niche, then I'm gonna keep saying niche so that I can eventually turn everyone into saying words the way I want them to
Yeah,
be
the
said.
video
I
just
am
came
a
out was the day
pundit
the
for
part
my
where I say
ideas.
Penchant, because I think penchant sounds way
sounds
cooler
cooler.
than penchant.
Nobody gives
definitely
a shit how
penchant.
you think
It's
sounds
definitely
cooler.
penchant.
It's not about what sounds
Can I
cooler.
just say
It's
the
penchant.
whole crux of this argument is you're making an error. Who cares though?
I don't think
Does
it's
that make your point lesser
I don't-
at all?
I care that
That's-
Digi
that's
doesn't
the
I
care.
agree.
He
I
doesn't
agree
care.
with
He just
you
doesn't care.
that who cares.
If somebody
but I also
pronounces
don't think it's
something really
necessarily
weird,
an error.
but I still understand, then I'm not gonna say, well,
Look,
I don't really like
there's
them
a very
or their
simple
video.
point. There's a very simple point to be made about this, and it's the fact that every single one of us who watched that Bunny Hop video, when he said cacophony, we were like, what? What the fuck
When
was
he
that
said
about?
Cacophony.
When he said
We all did a
cacophony,
double take.
When he
was-
said
or whatever
cacophony,
it
I
was.
went,
It actively made the video worse.
That's pretty cool.
That's right. It was a distraction, and that was exactly counter to the
But
point
I didn't
he was
mind
trying
it.
to make. Well, I mean, I minded it in the sense that it
You
was...
mind it because you're
It's
insane.
the only thing I remember
Yeah.
from the video.
That's right. Exactly. That's the
I
problem.
remember everything from the video, and it didn't bother me slightly because I'm not a piece of shit.
I don't remember
Well,
anything.
that's
I don't-
because you're
I
in
don't
this
give a
world
fuck
where
about
language is
pronunciation.
flexible
Sonic,
all the
cacophony,
time and
Sonic,
nothing means
Sonic.
anything.
I don't like it.
You're all
I
shit.
don't agree.
You are the
Okay.
worst commenters. I hope you die.
No, fuck
gonna
you and
comment on
fuck
every one of your
anyone who
videos.
pronounces
Okay,
words
Digi, I have a
grievously
question.
wrong. Okay, you know what?
How
There are
do you
some
feel
words.
about-
There are some
There's
words that I'll go
flexibility.
either way on. Okay, I don't have an opinion on niche or niche. It sounds fine either way. But there are some fucking words that just sound retarded when people say them wrong, like cacophony.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that.
Listen, Jesse,
Yeah, that's
I
too much of
agree
a
that
deviation.
cacophony sounds stupid and cacophony sounds better, and cacophony is one of my favorite words. I'd love it if more people said it and said it correctly. But leaving a comment on Bunny Hop's video is the same as leaving any other shitty comment. If you want to talk about why he's wrong, make your own video about how to pronounce
I
cacophony
will make my
and
own
try to
video.
convince
I'll
the
do it.
world.
I'll do
Guys
it
are
today.
always a
I'll
bad
make the
thing.
ultimate
That's
video,
not
and I'll
true.
set the world
Lincoln
straight.
that episode
Right
of
now,
Word
as soon as this
Girl.
podcast is over, I'll make a video telling everyone.
Why do I need to make a video response to the way you pronounce
Listen,
cacophony? Why is
if
that
your
relevant?
if your problem with how he says cacophony is that you think it should be pronounced different, that's not his
It's not
problem.
me. It's not
your
me
problem.
saying that. It's the standard of the language.
The standard of the language is always being changed. They update the
But
dictionary. They
cacophony
update
is
pronunciations.
wrong. No one in the
You
world
know,
history
I had
has
a,
ever said
I made a
cacophony.
video, Nate.
No one
I
has
made a
said it.
video once. The first video I ever got really shat on for pronunciation was when I said femininity instead of femininity.
That was
because
too much. All right, I'm not with you.
look,
on that
you
one.
say that,
Oh, there
but
you go.
femininity used to be a fucking word. That used to be how it was
But
said.
no, it's
I
not.
looked it up.
It's
I
not
did the
anymore.
research. Femininity was originally the word. Femininity became the word because people liked the way it sounded
we
more.
don't live
Which
in
means that
Femininity
language
anymore.
is nothing but
My
bullshit
point
and
is-
people
I'd like to
deciding
reiterate
what they
More.
like.
Femininity sounds retarded. Whether it's technically correct or technically not correct, it sounds dumb. So we changed it.
I'd
we all
like
got
to
together.
Yeah, I-
reiterate
about
yeah,
a standard, Jesse. It's not about how we feel about
My
it. It's
point
about
is
the
that there
standard.
is no objective idea of what it means
No,
because
okay,
it
all right.
changes
More
based on
objective
should be
people's
to
pronounce
taste.
shit
Meaning
right.
that when you leave a comment that someone's pronouncing something wrong, that's just your taste. That's just your opinion. It's not
right,
objective.
stop.
There
Okay,
is no
here's
objective
the
failure
issue.
because objectivity isn't real.
There's a difference right there because
You're just
the way
bringing
you're
in
using
other stuff.
objectivity is incorrect because what is objective is that we do have a standard in the language that we have. Most of us, it's a democratic process, and we have decided that we are going to pronounce as an English language cacophony, not cacophony. We have
My
decided
videos are not a democratic process. My videos are things
You
that
are
I
part
post
of the
to
English
share my
language.
Nate,
opinion.
at this
process.
point,
Whole nother
at
thing
this
here.
point,
This
I'd
has
like
nothing
to
do
reiterate
with, like,
that this is not an
objectivity.
argument
It's-
about
it's
whether.
an objective fact that when people pronounce things differently than how everyone else pronounces it, it sounds weird and it throws people off. That's an
It
objective
does sound
fact.
weird.
You know,
I'd like
Jesse,
to.
I
That
think
is a
lot
fact,
of it is
Jesse.
that you just don't have a big enough of a viewer base, nor do I, for there to be a large contingent of
It
people.
would
that
never
have their
happen to Vu
opinions
because
on
I
your
pronounce everything
pronunciations.
correctly all the
Just you
time.
think that until you get enough people with different
No,
opinions.
see, that's
on
just the
But here's
wrong
the
way
thing,
of looking
Jesse.
at it. That's just hiding.
When you say that, you said it sounds weird and wrong. And that's kind of like when people go to your videos and they say the way that you present your ideas is weird and wrong to me. It's
No, that's
Okay.
totally
That
different.
is
There is no
completely
standard
different.
for how
Right.
Jesse should make his videos.
there
is
should be no standard for language, just like there should be no standard for art.
Digi, I have a really important question. I really need to answer
Digi
this
right
question.
there said there should be. Good. All right.
Ah, shut up!
Did you
Shut
say-
up! Shut up! Shut up!
No,
Right.
he said there should be no standard, and that's the
You've
problem.
been trying to talk for half a goddamn hour.
standard.
Let the man speak.
I just want to say that I don't mind the whole mispronouncing things as much as Nate seems to, because
Honestly, I don't even hate it
grew up.
that much.
I don't
It's
even
just
care.
Well, you seem to.
I don't really give a shit.
Okay, I'm
about
sorry,
any
Gib,
of
go on.
this.
Go on.
The reason I don't mind it so much is because I grew up in a place where loads of people had loads of different accents, and I'm just like, if I hear cacophony or cacophony or whatever, I'm just like, oh. And then I just watch
Nobody
the rest
knows
of
what
the
we're
thing.
talking about, by the way. Nobody has seen
the-
the,
the
Super
fact
Funny
that
Hop
the-
video.
what I was
We
trying to
gotta
say
link
is
it.
that
we gotta
it-
link it in the description.
Yeah, Digi, I
It's
want to
just
ask you.
the whole
Well,
this
let
discussion
fucking
is
Hippo
pointless
finish first.
because all we're talking about is how much Nate and or how much any of us cares about mispronunciations. It's got nothing to do
I
with
actually would
comments.
say that
Let's
the
drop
outlier
this
here
whole
is
subject.
Digi, who's
Though,
super
the
willing
only
to
thing I just
accept
wanted
people
to
I
pronouncing
think-
words any way they
look,
want.
The reason it bothers me so much is that I listen to all
Digi,
kinds
the
of
reason
videos.
that you're so sensitive is because you pronounce shit wrong all the time. You know,
Nate,
that's just
I
a
listen
fact.
to all kinds of videos with people with weird accents who pronounce everything differently from how I'm used to, and I just assume, well, he comes from a different culture, he has a different accent than me, he pronounces things
Where is
differently.
George Weidman
That's
from?
that's how I feel. And people, because of the fact that most of the words I say sound like standard American English, they assume I don't have an accent. But I have an accent. It's just that only certain elements of the things I say sound different. It's only when I start saying shit like y'all, which I say all the time, that people start realizing, oh, he's from the South, and he says things in a different way. And there's words that I've learned in a way that's different from how other people have learned them. And when I use those words, people complain at me because they don't think of it as he has an accent. They think of it as he's just saying words wrong.
So in other
I
words,
know,
they lack the context, just like all the other problems. Did you have a question?
Right.
No,
Did
no,
these
you're oversimplifying,
pronunciation
and that's wrong.
Comments. Did these pronunciation comments bother you this much when they first started happening here and there? Because I
they
feel
have
like
always bothered me.
There you go,
Okay.
Joe. Your point is invalid.
I have always been bothered by pronunciation comments because of the fact, simply,
It doesn't
as I
have
said
anything
earlier,
to do with accent,
that
though. You don't have a southern accent. It's not your If someone is speaking in an accent and they're pronouncing words differently, I can interpret that in my brain, and I don't get
because
weirded
you
out by it.
only think, but that only doesn't weird you out because it sounds so much like a clear accent. What I'm saying is that I have an accent. It just sounds a lot like normal English, but that doesn't mean it's not an accent. There's certain words that just
An
I
accent
just say
permeates
differently.
everything
I
Did
don't
you hear
say,
that?
though.
Did you hear that, Hippo? Normal English.
Look, is there a difference? Is
yeah.
there a difference
I got it.
between an accent and saying something wrong?
Definitely,
is there even a
absolutely,
difference?
100%.
I would say yes.
I
would say yes.
think that there are times when you like there are some words
There's a spectrum,
that
though. There's
there
a
are some
spectrum.
words that I have said wrong because I've never heard them spoken before, and
And that's
I've
on
only
you, and
I've
that's
only
on
read
you.
them online and I've never heard them spoken. So I say it and I pronounce it wrong, and sometimes someone corrects me on it, and I look it up and I go, okay, that makes sense. I'll pronounce it that way from now on.
I pronounced the
But
word
there's other
bosom
words-
as bosom for like 10 years. So
Right,
I'm
there's,
just
there's
saying
a lot of
that
words
was
that
wrong.
are like that.
Look, there
but
is-
there's other words that I pronounce wrong because I've said it for so long that that's just how I say it. Like, for instance, I cannot pronounce bakemonogatari. I
You
cannot
just did.
do it.
That sounds fine.
No, it's not. Like, it should be. Well, I actually did get closer to how I usually closer than I usually do, but it should be bakemonogatari. Right?
Dude,
That's
you're
how it
not
should be said.
Japanese. It's forgivable.
But
you have an
I always
American
say
accent.
I always say bakemonogatari.
That's
I always say
literally
it with an
perfect.
E.
That's literally perfect. What's
No,
the
it's
problem?
not. There's an E instead of an A at the end. I've gotten complaints about it all the time that I say bakemonogatari wrong because I say that E at
Well,
the
that's what
end
happens
instead
when you
of
have
an
an
A.
audience full of weebs.
And it's because I cannot, in the context of reading a script, I cannot say it the other way because I've been saying it for like 8 years.
Okay, well,
bakemonogatari
if that's
because
incorrect,
it just sounds natural.
that's literally
to
a problem with you.
I can when I
That's
try to
your
read a
problem.
script and I try to say niche, it sounds so fucking weird because I have to
Yeah, it
stop
sounds forced.
everything and overpronounce that word. I did it in a video
well, I'm
recently
sorry,
where I
but
was like,
when you're making
it's
an
filling a certain
audio-visual thing,
niche.
you have to have some audio fidelity. You have to fucking
That's
accept the
that.
responsibility.
It
of using
sounds
English.
wrong
You know what? The
if you
root of
say
this
it
problem
that way.
is that
though.
Digi just motors through his scripts and doesn't pay any heed to them.
I think they sound better that way. I think when you overpronounce words and you talk slow, you sound like a fucking nerd, and I don't want to listen to you. I want to listen to people who sound natural,
Did
who
you
sound
sound
like
like
they're
a
using
nerd?
the
You
voice
can't
that they
Just
use
say
in their
that the
everyday
people who are
life.
criticizing the things that you've admitted are objectively wrong just aren't allowed to say anything.
I'm
'Cause they
saying
are.
I'm saying that they're missing the point of the video. They're missing that the reason I talk the way I
feel
do
like
is
we're
because
missing the
I
point of the
want the
podcast
scripts to
right
sound
now.
fast
Okay.
and
Digi,
natural.
if you had your way, George Bush would still be in office, and we'd all be pronouncing strategy as strategery. That's the world you
Right.
want
if I
to live
had
in.
my
Here's
way,
the thing, Digi.
if I
Here's
had
the
my
thing.
way, then misunderestimating would definitely be a word.
All right, Digi,
All right.
I've detected the problem. I've detected
That's-
the root
that's
of
the
the problem,
George Bush
Digi,
word that
and it
he
is
said,
that you think that
one
these
time.
comments are somehow taking away from the other conversation of the video. I don't see why that has to be the case. I don't think that they do.
I
They
think they
do.
do. Look, and here's the other problem: is that they can also be the death of jokes and inside jokes. For instance, I
sure,
could
of
never get
course.
away with saying simultaneously in my videos because people would go, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But to all of us, that's hilarious because the Time Cube guy says simultaneously. So like, I would love to write that into a script, but what am I gonna get? 100 million comments
Well,
going,
dude,
"Oh, you
it's
pronounced it
about tone.
wrong,"
Like,
and like
eh.
maybe. Cacophony was intended to sound weird in that video. We don't know that.
We
do
really
don't.
Dude,
We don't know.
You can infer
Look,
based on
you can-
tone. You can
you
infer
can
based on
infer,
tone.
You can infer, but that doesn't mean you know.
But dude, that's-
How
that's-
many
that's his
times have you been
responsibility as an artist to
farcical
make
on
us
purpose
understand what
and
he's going
people
for.
don't get it? Yeah, but you don't look. It's not his job to make something that you will completely appreciate and understand. It's his job to make his art.
Right,
if you
but it
leave a
is fair to
comment saying that
criticize him.
you weren't understandable, that's no different from that comment that guy left on my Erased video saying this wasn't helpful to everybody. My goal wasn't to be helpful to everybody. Now, if I came out and I said, "Hey guys, where are the mistakes in this video that made it harder to understand?" Then you commented that would be great. If I actually came out and said, "Hey, where did I pronounce things wrong? Tell me. I want to know. I want to correct myself and make my videos more understandable to more people." Then yes,
I would
please
say that you are
leave comments
implicitly
about it.
asking that question by releasing a video
I
that
do
contains
not
your
think
speech.
so. I think that's bullshit.
I think it's pretty
I
funny
think-
that a podcast about like shitty comments has essentially turned into a toxic comment section with all of
really
us
has.
yelling.
This is the most intense debate we've had yet on PCP, I
Look,
think.
I feel
I just like
very
to say that
strongly
all
about
of you, since you're American, are always sounding wrong to me because I am English.
Right. Yeah,
so
see, he just said
fuck you.
always. No one ever complains that he
Always.
says always
Because
instead
he's
of
British,
always.
goddammit, it's fine.
Right. and
Yeah,
we're all
and that
wrong.
seems natural to you because all the words he says sound
Are we
different.
even
so of
disagreeing
course
anymore?
It's an accent.
Or-
No, I think we pretty much agree.
I hope not. All right,
Can we just
move
move
on.
on?
What's the next thing that you shouldn't
what
do
was
in
the
your
rule
comments?
we can take away from that? Because I don't...
Don't
The rule
complain
is
about
fuck
pronunciation.
everyone.
No,
I guess.
complain all you
We'll
want.
be back. Just a minute.
No, the rule is bells
And
don't
if
work.
you do complain about pronunciation, Control F the fucking thread so I don't have to read
Okay,
literally 700 comments about
We can
it.
all agree one is enough when it comes to that.
Yes.
We can all agree on that.
Oh, and here's another thing about the pronunciation thing. It's one thing to correct the pronunciation, but when I get comments like, the way he says Kilua makes me want to fucking stab my ears out.
Well-
Get over yourself, you fucking piece of shit. Like me pronouncing a word wrong has like somehow
That-
given you cancer.
No,
or
just
something.
that's
having
the
a
exact comment that I left on Super Bunny Op's video. I said the way you pronounce cacophony gave me an aneurysm.
Jesse is the
people,
I mean,
people
that's
have
just
there
a that's
have
a
been people
that's a
who have
comedic
expressed
thing. It's just
like
you
the way
can't
you said it
always
is kind
tell.
of funny. There are people who have left comments like they were legitimately offended by the way that I pronounced Kilua in my video.
Dude, I clearly we're coming to this from different angles because I have committed federal crimes.
Yeah, once
but
you're
on the
all once you
comments
all
that
get
I
the
have said
level
to
of
people
comments I fucking
on
get,
4chan.
I want you to come back and have this conversation
All
again.
right, fine.
When
Let's-
you've got
let's-
a video
let's
with
do a follow-up
700
sometime where we
comments
actually look at these
insulting
comments.
your pronunciation,
Dude, and I'm
then
not
come back
defending
and
every
talk to
comment.
me.
I'm just saying I'm defending ideas here. I'm
I don't
defending a
even think the
conceptual
way.
world.
I mean, how lucky are you that you said it's Gurren Lagann time and no one said anything
I said
about it?
Lagan. I said Gurren
No,
Lagann.
you say at the beginning of the video, you say it's Gurren Lagann time.
I did not say
Ah!
Lagann. I did not say that word.
It's Gurren Lagoon.
I totally remember it being wrong. I remember hearing
You
it
should
and
have called
thinking,
it Gurren Lagoon. It would have been way funnier. Do the whole video over.
I want to go live in Gurren Lagoon.
That's gonna be my Japanese anime. Is
all right,
I'm
let's
taking
move on.
ownership
Let's
of that
move on.
one.
What's
it
the
should
next
be
rule? What's the
Gurren
next rule?
Lagann.
Wow. Might need
Gigi,
to edit
you got
that
a rule?
down.
What? Who's got a rule?
Let me compose myself. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I had to take a second.
That was an
Hippo,
epic debate.
Hippo, say something while I try to think of what my next one is.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
Oh, I've got a
I'm like-
good one though.
My blood is like
No,
I
Gibbon has
don't
rule.
ever-
Gibbon has rule.
Gibbon's got a rule. Gibbon.
I got a rule. I got a
Rudy's
rule.
got the chalk.
Don't ever, don't ever post a comment for the express purpose of getting +1s, because it's just completely pointless.
My dad
and
died
it's
today,
so
but
obvious.
I have the strength to
No.
comment on this video anyway.
I
Give
think
that guy
Hippo
a
means
+1.
stuff like am I the only one who
God,
thinks
no.
this show is good?
All right,
Yeah,
all right,
it's-
here's a rule. Here's a rule. Never, ever,
Yeah.
ever, 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 ever start a comment with, "Am I the only one who?" Don't do it. I'll fucking murder your whole family. That's a bannable offense. That's the worst possible comment you could ever make. No, you're not the only one. Everyone is fucking thinking the same thing. You're not special. You don't matter. You're gonna die one day, and I hope it's today. Fuck you!
You know, I think that's all that needs
I
to be
agree.
said about that.
All right,
I
let's move
completely
on.
agree.
Gibbon, you should be leading this debate. Short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah, Gibbon gets it.
Rules right there.
I can't wait to see the commenters on this video like tripping over
Don't
themselves
you
to do it
fucking
right.
ironically say that
Oh
shit.
yeah, that's
Anyone
another
who
one.
does
That's
that-
another bannable offense. When I say in a video, don't make
Ironically,
this
yes.
particular comment, and then they make
Yes.
that exact comment to be cute, you're not being cute. You're not being funny.
Yeah.
You're not clever.
Oh my
I hope you
God.
get AIDS and cancer at
That's
the
a
same
good one.
time.
That's a good one.
That's a big
Once
rule.
again-
cuteness
once again with
doesn't
my-
solve any problems. Cuteness does not excuse anything. It never solves
No.
anything the way
Never.
you think it
When
does.
I said when I said comments about the beard will be deleted, I really regret that I didn't say that you will
It will
be
be
banned.
banned, yeah.
Because people there still would have been. The only reason I didn't do that is because I actually was a little afraid that I'd have to ban all my commenters. Like I was seriously like, if I say that, they're not gonna believe, like they're not gonna understand that I really mean that, and I will ban them all.
I've just
And,
realized
like,
we have completely opened ourselves up to a wall of ironic comments. It's gonna be nothing
Yeah,
but ironic
and we can
comments.
ban them
No.
all,
Yes,
because
we'll-
they're all
we're going
assholes.
to ban all of
Yes.
you if you do
We
I
should
that
say
hate
shit.
right now that we're
Nothing
going
is
to ban
worse.
them, and then people who commented before they got to this point,
That's
I'm
your
gonna break
problem.
every
You gotta
single
fucking-
rule.
You should have listened to rule number 1. You got to watch the whole video. Or you're gonna
And
get
we are
fucking
we are
banned.
definitely serious, and you will always be banned from this. There will be dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of future PCP episodes, and
right.
you will be egging to say stuff, and you won't get to say any of it, and you will be crying on that fateful
Yes.
day in April 2016.
And we'll
that
bury
wish
you.
You had
We'll
decided to
bury you in a
Decide
termite
to be a little
mound, and
punk.
termites
You
will
ironic
bite
and
your
cute
dick
day.
until you're dead. I'll
You
put
would've-
a
right.
baseball
You shouldn't
mitt
have done
full
it.
of
You would've
ants
done it.
on
It
your
wasn't that funny,
ball
'cause it's not
sack,
that funny.
and they'll bite
you-
you on the ball
I
sack.
love how
They'll bite
I
your
love how
balls.
Devu always frames, every time someone offends someone in this group, he always frames it as, once we are really famous, you're going to be so mad that you offended us. Like, that's always how you
I
frame
like
it.
that optimism.
Yes, when
I
I'm
like
king,
that.
I will
When there's
remember
future
everyone who
episodes.
slighted me, and I will send assassins out across the far corners of the world to slay them, to slay all the commenters.
It's
We're
like
already really
the
famous. What are you talking about?
But, Nate, to put this simply,
Yeah.
you can, if you've already thought of the phrase, you can say it with me. Ironic shit posting
is
still
smells
shit
like
posting.
poop. Oh, I said it
yes.
wrong.
That's the one. That's the one.
So how about we get to the one that is my most hated one?
Okay.
The arrogant, smug tone, which people don't realize is a big problem. They don't.
Well, wait a minute,
realize.
Devu.
Yeah,
Don't
I
start
hate
tone
that shit.
policing because that's a bannable offense for me. I can't stand that shit.
Okay, for the content. All right, listen. When people say that the internet is a huge hive of scum and villainy, when
Yeah.
the internet is full of a bunch of terrible people, they are not talking about 4chan. They're not talking about people who say you're a fag in all lowercase. I mean, those guys are a big problem, right? But the problem with the internet is people who are like, my friend, you have really disappointed me. This is not good at all. This is not
I
a thing.
just got one of those right before we started this fucking show.
Yeah,
day,
the phrase,
sir.
The phrase "my friend" should be like auto banned.
They always end it with good day.
Dude,
Yeah,
the one
good day to you.
the ones
Hey.
I've seen the worst were on Tom's video recently because everyone's like, "Dude, what happened to love and tolerate, brother? You're
my
really letting
God.
us down."
No, the worst
Triggers
is
me
when they
more.
combine that with hypocrisy, when they're pissed, like they're bitching at you for being smug in a smug tone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't ever,
And you just
don't
wanna
ever
fucking
dare
wreck
to
them?
talk to me like some disappointed parental figure or some friend. You're not my friend. The only one, if you want to be my friend, become a patron at patreon.com/BenSaint,
That's
motherfucker.
true right there.
Because look, guys, being a troll, being an asshole, being a flamer does not. I mean, okay, look. Capitalization, spelling, that's a small variable, but that is not precluded. There's so many people who will make something that's obviously meant to piss you off. It's obviously trolling, it's
Right,
obviously
right.
baiting, but they have a decent vocabulary and they capitalize their words in sentences and stuff. And they think that because they spelled everything all right and didn't have too many exclamation marks. It's all about the exclamation marks, right? Or
Yeah.
words that are in all caps. They think that's the definition of trolling. No, it's not. The definition of trolling is whether or not it pisses someone off and it was intended to be so. And so many people will come out with passive-aggressive, smarmy, terrible comments and will think that they're being... They're fair criticism. That's the fair criticism.
Nothing-
It's,
nothing
that's not how it
text.
works.
It's the
Listen, you guys have
subtext.
to understand. There are so many times, and I think all of you guys would agree with this, there are many times where I will add a bunch of exclamation marks or capitalize words to make me sound stupid to lower myself. That's being humble in my book. And I can't do that anymore. I used to
Yeah,
do that
it's-
more often.
it's a
where I'd
delicate
be like-
balance.
where I wanted to be like, fun and just like a normal person. I'd be like, you suck, you know,
Like,
'cause it's
even
a little bit
in this
more
very chat,
normal.
I'll
But
say, like,
these
Digi,
people,
your
these
video is
swine,
fucking
these scum
retarded.
will utilize.
yeah.
They will not let you get away with that. When someone gets into a flame war with you, right? They are on turbo alert mode, looking for anything you say that has 2 exclamation marks or more, so that they can then posit you as this troll angry guy, right? They're looking for anything they can use to discredit you, you know, and
Nothing
they will
bothers
carry
me
it,
more than
hold it in their
smarm.
heart, and
Yeah.
use it for everything it's worth. They will milk anything they can find to make it seem like, oh, you're just being a big violent jerk face. Don't you realize, and this is another fallacy, or as Digi would say, a fallacy, that you can see around all of discussion is, I call it the First Amendment kicks in when I get uncomfortable fallacy, right? Which is, I make a video, that's my free speech. You make a comment, that's your speech too. I make a reply, that's my speech. You make a reply, that's your speech, but then I make a reply that's really logical and trumps all of your ideas, and now all of a sudden, I'm trampling on your ideas. All of a sudden, the oppression begins when you run out of arguments, right? This is
Yeah,
the problem
yeah.
I've seen ever since the internet was invented in 1975
This is
by
the
Al
most
Gore.
substantive complaint yet, Tavu, and I very much agree. I very much agree.
You know, the saddest part about that fallacy thing is that my best rap I ever wrote for the
Art
Jeff
is a
Burgess song
fallacy, a
Spiders.
swallowing of
Oh,
pride.
Yeah.
no.
And I can't, like, once I found out that was the wrong pronunciation, I thought, oh, great, no one probably can take this seriously. And I can't change it because the entire rhyme scheme is based on it being pronounced
I
fallacy.
pronounce it faggotry.
That's a good way to pronounce it.
I was
yeah,
gonna
no.
do that.
Smarm drives me crazy because it's this whole attitude of if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. But then you
Except for
say
them.
that in a bitchy way, and it's like what we need to be doing as a society is getting to the point, not
Right.
being nice. Not arguing in a way that fits your parameters of how an
place-
argument should be. It's getting to the point.
That world of only saying nice things is the Metal Gear Solid 2
Like,
nightmare,
you know, like
where
in
nothing
one of my
substantive
videos,
gets
in
done.
one of my videos, I say faggot at one point, which is very weird because my videos have very few swearing. But there's one time
Yeah.
where I decided to use faggot, right? And I got some comments complaining about it, whatever. And there was one that was like, "Oh, I can't believe you do that." And I was like, you know, man, you know, whatever, yada yada. And at
Shut
one
up, you
point he
faggot.
said,
That would have
I
been my
have,
response.
I have a beautiful example for this when you're done, by the way. So
Okay.
Because then he said, just, you know, shut up about it. Saying faggot is really annoying. And I was like, huh. You know, I actually upvoted that comment because he's just saying, he stopped being all smarmy.
I want
right?
to
He just was
elaborate on
like,
that, Devu,
Don't say
because
that.
I was
Okay.
going to bring this up. You people on the internet, you commenters, you have ruined the word faggot for me forever. Like,
What a shame. What a
like,
shame.
faggot
Louis
is...
C.K. saved it, and then it got ruined.
Faggot, yeah. Louis C.K. made people realize that they could say it, and then they went way too far with it. Like,
Yeah.
faggot is, like, one of my favorite words ever in the world. It's a beautiful word, and it describes a person so nebulous that they can only be described with that word, which is why
right.
I am
agree.
very careful with how I use the word faggot. I only say it when there's an impact to it, when it really matters and means what
Go
I'm
watch
trying to
Give
say.
and Takes faggot compilation. You'll see the
Exactly.
artistry at work.
Every
Yep,
time I've
yep.
ever said faggot has been totally 100% the best possible word I could have used at that given time. But people
agree.
throw faggot around so much nowadays that it just robs the word of any agency and any impact and any meaning, and it drives me insane.
You know, I kind of disagree. I think the fact that it's so meaningless is what I like
It's
about
not meaningless. It describes a specific person that you can't describe with any other word. That's why it's so important
Louis
to
C.K.
keep it.
put it perfectly when he said,
Yeah.
you know, the guy, he pulls the dick out of his mouth and says, people from Phoenix are Phoenician.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
shut up,
That's a
faggot.
faggot. Suck
Shut up
that
and
dick.
suck that dick.
we
Yeah,
had-
like,
yeah.
that made perfect sense. And unfortunately, yeah, I think it has, I agree with Jesse that it's been ruined for me by other people. And, like, I've tried to sort of replace it with fuckboy because it means
Yeah, that word's great.
It describes the same kind of person, but it doesn't have, it's too fun. Like, faggot still sounds like an insult, whereas
do you know how
fuckboy is a little
faggot
bit too much
do you know how
fun.
faggot
Yeah.
should be used? Faggot should be like the nuclear option, the kill code. Like
Yeah.
like like Randy Orton's head punt. He never uses it except sometimes, and when he uses it, the guy is like injured for 8 months. It should be like when you're like running down some guy with a huge string of insults. You're stupid and you're dumb and you're gay and you're a homo and you're ugly and you're fat and you're dumb and you're dumb and you're dumb and you're a fucking faggot. And then they're
Yeah.
dead. They are
That's
dead.
the way to do it. By the way, can we hear Tom's example?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same
Yeah.
thing.
Well, I mean, we've kind of gone off the rails, went a different direction than I was expecting. I was going to say how I don't like it when people will when you use like words like that, when you use like risque language or whatever, and they just fucking are on your dick on it instantly. And like they take that holier than thou thing, like when I said corporate raping of your childhood in the Powerpuff Girls video, and then I just got this guy like before I'd even made it public. I don't know how he found it. I think I put it in a playlist or something, and just fucking like went all preachy on me about how I'm not allowed to.
You
use
need
that
to stop
word.
normalizing rape with that kind of language, brother. That is not acceptable.
That's exactly what he said.
Okay, so
Normalizing cartoon reboots.
I think you guys might want some guidelines.
Dude, but
on how
hang
to-
on. Before we get into that, Devu, let me point out right now, on dictionary.com, the third definition of rape is an act of plunder, violent seizure,
That's
or
exactly
abuse,
what I said. I responded with
despoliation,
that
or
exact thing.
violation. It is the exact correct word to use for that.
Yeah.
So people need to fuck off
That's what I
with
said.
that
And then
shit.
someone
So, guys,
responded to me
so-
saying that it's like citing the dictionary is offensive. Like,
What?
The dictionary,
Well, I would
the
agree
dictionary
normally.
isn't what describes words. People decide what
Oh.
words mean. And
Well,
if-
you know what?
Wow.
I will say
That's
there
great.
sometimes people will be like, "Oh, you're not using this word the exact way I would," which they're using it
Dictionary's
wrong. And like, go look up the definition. One time, one guy said, "Go look up the definition of the world should." He misspelled would, and I got on his ass for that. All right, listen, you guys
Tom,
want some
I
pointers?
just want to say real quick, Tom, I don't think I've ever wanted to kill a man more than I have based on what you just described to me. But
It's
okay,
amazing.
Devu, let's.
Actually,
so-
I before Devu continues, actually, sorry, I keep cutting you off, but Nate, I have to know.
Yeah.
With your Final Fantasy VII video, where
Okay.
you like literally
Yeah.
depicted a rape of
Yep.
Oh,
the
yeah.
games. How did that go over?
You know, amazingly, I only got one comment that said like, "Ooh, was a little uncomfortable with that last scene," but overall, great video. Amazingly,
even I was
it
like,
went
"Oh
over.
my god!" When you put
I know.
that in.
I was debating whether or not I should just remove it entirely, but people actually were okay with it, except for one guy who was only a little uncomfortable. But and that video got like 25,000 views and only one comment
really
about
impressive.
it. It was amazing. Yeah,
Okay, so
I don't know.
Tom
you guys
got
want some
one within
pointers?
5
I like to
seconds.
think that it was due to my jovial tone overall. People were accepting of it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And in
Devu,
fact-
let's go on.
So you guys want some advice on how to not be smarmy, right? So first point, don't have short sentences. Short sentences with very few words and lots
Yeah.
of periods and redundant terminology, using the same words over and over again, the same words all the time. People do that deliberately to piss you off. It makes them sound like they're so smart. I don't know why it is. It
nothing
comes
is
off that
more
way, but
passive.
it's very,
Nothing is
yeah.
more passive aggressive than no, you don't, because
Oh,
you
yeah,
think
no.
that
Yeah.
this is how it is.
You know, I've
That's
got
exactly
I've-
what the dude
yeah.
said. It's fucking
Oh,
worse.
really? Okay, okay.
Oh,
You know what?
yeah.
I don't like. It's true. Long comments are bad. Short comments are maybe a little bit better, but you know, you should just take it the one step further and just not comment, which is really the ultimate conclusion I'd like to get to here. Just don't comment. That's the biggest rule.
Yeah.
Just don't. You know, go
Yeah.
away.
If you've ever seen the Welcome to YouTube video,
Yeah.
where they said, now for how to comment. Don't.
yeah.
Now
That
listen,
stands for
here's
it's
basically-
D-O-N-T.
I
It
think this
stands
is like-
for don't.
I think this is the number one point I can make about how to not be a big smug prick. Just represent yourself. Instead of saying this video offended this group minority that I don't represent, instead of saying this video has broken this law of conduct and
Yeah.
this video has done this wrong, this video has violated this memo.
No, you have
Just
to you have
just-
to defend your idea.
Yeah,
I
just
think
say
that's what you're
this.
getting
Just
to.
stick with this. This video pissed me off. You know what?
Right.
That kind of comment wouldn't really bother me. You see, it's not the fact that people people disliking a video of mine. You know, that's kind of disappointing, right? But what offends me is when people try to represent something beyond themselves. All you
Right.
gotta do is
There's
be like,
nothing
"Look,
that's more
here's
annoying
what
than people
offends
getting offended on other people's behalf.
Right.
That's a big
and almost,
problem.
That's a universal thing you can see in comments
yeah.
that are
I
big
wanna
smug
poop
people.
on the hood
Is
of
that they
everyone's
always
car. I
they
just
don't
wanna
seem to think that they themselves are a valuable
Take
resource.
my pants
Like
off and go out to their
like,
garage and I want
as
to
a
sit
human
on their,
being-
squat over the car and just poop on it. I want to poop on your car.
as a human being, I have enough respect for you
in the
that if you
back
say
seat, poop there
something
too. I
such
wanna-
and such bothers me,
wanna smear my
I can
poop all over
respect
the
that. I can
steering wheel so
respect
that we-
that that's how you feel about something.
Poop on
but
the
it's that
gear
they
shift,
then
poop
try to
on the-
make it
wanna
that
piss
make it
in
out
the
like there's
gas
some
tank.
sort of
I definitely
imaginary
wanna
rule
stick a
book for
banana in the
videos that I'm
tailpipe.
violating. which isn't
Smear
true.
my shit on the
That's like
windshield too. I want to
I don't know
my
what the
shit everywhere
definition-
I could possibly.
We gotta stop, Devu. I know you're trying to like just continue your point, even though Jesse is
I
mumbling.
want to
on
go into your house with a toothbrush
driving
and
me
I want to
insane
I want
listening
to
to
smear
both of
poop
you.
in the hard to find places, so you don't know where the smell is coming from, and you have to live with it forever. You just want to
Yeah.
do with your poop. I want to poop. I want to poop. Commenters
Jesse,
are
you
poop
go
and I
do
poop
that.
on
You
them.
go do that.
Commenters are poop and I poop on them.
Okay, look, I can
Commenters are
make
poop
sure
and I
that-
them.
poop
Poop
on
and I
them.
poop on them. Comments.
They're just pooping. It's
Body boobiness.
like because like that one Reddit moderator from a couple episodes ago, whatever, one thing I told him was don't try to represent some sort of objective standard. All you got to do to get our attention, to get my attention, to make a comment that will leave an impact on me is just say such and such bothers me. And then I can
Right.
decide whether or not to take that seriously.
Like,
But if you
yeah,
try to think that you
That's a lot
Anytime-
better.
The
Yeah,
problem
that's
that-
better.
that's what
Anytime
pisses
someone
me off.
tries to
That is
say-
almost everything that pisses me off. Almost all the piss I've ever had towards comments is that pretense that you represent something that you don't.
The only
That's all I
problem
want.
with that, and I think you're totally right. The only problem is that people who are all into collectivism and shit and feeling offended for other things, they take personal offense from being other people being offended. So they are.
Well,
personally
my God,
representing
there's just no
themselves.
winning. There's no way to win that fight.
I think
You just
Well,
need
I
to
mean,
fucking
okay,
end
when,
them.
when it
You just
comes
need
to
end them
when it
with
comes
a
to
threat.
words and stuff,
Right.
yeah, but that doesn't apply to like, oh, you didn't structure your review correctly. They're inventing some
That is the
imaginary
kind of,
rule.
oh
Anytime
God, like
someone
who are
says-
you? Who are these fucking people saying you didn't structure? Have you ever made a fucking video? Do you know what it's like to be on YouTube? God, these fucking backseat YouTubers. There's nothing worse than them. Those people need to fucking burn.
I like that term. No, like if someone says this video is offensive, then the only response you need to make is maybe for you, but it's not offensive
And
for
my
me.
God,
it's
like-
not offensive for the people who liked it,
Who-
and that's who I made it for. I
And
didn't
since
make
when
it for
was
you.
offending someone like a bannable offense? Like this is the real world we're living in. If an idea offends you, you can say that. That's fine. But
Right.
that doesn't make it objectively wrong. Some
This
things
all-
are offensive.
It all comes
offense
back
is
once
your
again
problem.
into
And offense is always
it all
taken,
comes back
it's
again
never
into
given.
Exactly.
what not knowing what we want out of our videos.
Right,
Again,
right.
if you're leaving a comment saying you did this wrong, you really don't know what we were intending to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I wanted to offend you. Maybe I just didn't
Right,
think
right.
it was offensive. Maybe in my culture, being offended by that thing I said is offensive to me.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the things that offend other people, I am offended that it offends them. That is a thing I have experienced.
Right.
No, it's
Yeah.
So
totally
like
true.
yeah.
Circular
so,
triggering is a real thing, folks.
Right. And once again, you don't need to leave your offended comment on my video. It's not my job to give you that platform. You have everywhere on the internet to. Now, I
Right,
understand
right.
that because my comments are open, you probably will leave the comment on my video, but guess what? I'm going to delete it because I have the power to do that. Don't want your comment deleted? Leave it somewhere else. Go on Twitter and talk
I think
about
another
how I'm
thing
a
that makes
douchebag.
comments suck is I think they get frustrated because something pissed them off, and I think it comes from the futility that they feel that this guy's not going to read my comment. I'm wasting my time. This guy's just going to say what he says in his own bubble, and he's never going to even hear me out. And that frustration makes their comment more bitchy, right? So here's
Yeah.
another rule. Assume that they're going to read the comments, because unless they
Yes.
get hundreds of thousands of views on every video,
Yeah.
they probably actually at least skim all the comments. People don't underestimate how much YouTubers read their comments most of the time. And
Right.
the thing is that because they get pissed off, they don't want to put in the effort to read the other comments to see if that correction's already been made. They go into base things like using short sentences. They go into all the other problems that we just talked about because of that frustration, that feeling that it's going to be thrown in the garbage anyway. Well, you know what? That's the wrong way of looking at it. Look at it
Yeah.
like it will get thrown in
And-
the garbage unless you calm down and try to say something insightful. Because our whole careers here on YouTube is about saying things that are insightful, even if it is very critical.
right.
And that's what we
Yeah.
respect.
I'll say this, like I've made it sound like I delete fucking comments all the time, and I do, but most of the comments I delete are the ones that have no recourse, where it's just like, fuck you, you're a piece of shit, and then I just delete that guy and ban that guy, And,
Hey,
and
that's
also,
a meaningful statement he's trying
I also
to
will
make.
say that like a lot
That
of
man
my
has a right
bans
to
are
his
based
criticism.
on if a lot of my bans aren't because of criticism per se, they're because someone either admitted that they downvoted the video or admitted that they unsubscribed.
Oh yeah, that's
that
another
usually
thing.
will cause
Don't
me to ban
pretend to
them.
have some sort of affection for me when they're like, I unsubscribed. Really? I've never
Right.
seen any of your comments on any of my other videos. Oh,
Right.
you unsubscribed on my Roller Coaster 3 video, a video I posted almost a year ago? What kind of subscriber are you? Taking so long to watch my damn videos. I don't believe you for
But
1
anyway,
second.
Continuing what I was saying, that
He's
I
mad.
don't what I don't usually ban is people who are just like, making an argument, and I'll usually respond to them.
Yeah.
And if they're being a dick, this has happened countless times, where someone will say something, they'll leave a comment in a way that's kind of like an asshole, and then I'll respond, and then they will apologize because
Where are
they
these
sounded
people
like
coming
assholes.
from? I
yeah.
never get anyone apologizing. No
I've
matter how
seen a
nice
couple
I am,
like
I
that.
never get
I get
apologies.
it all the time.
How
I
you
get it
do
all the
this?
time.
No, you know what
because
I
I
hate these posts to me.
Well,
I
well,
just
Devu,
fucking
the
do it.
difference is that you often respond to people being an asshole by being an asshole in
No,
response.
no. I do it in ways that can diffuse the situation.
What's going
almost
on
all
with
the time,
Jesse
all
over
right?
there?
Listen,
I
I
don't
was
know.
slapping the microphone with
I
my
know there were
wiener.
certain contexts where I was being an asshole. That was the only time you've seen it. If you've
No,
seen
that's
most of the
constructive
comments,
commentary.
the vast majority of the comments I got on my big videos have been like ways to diffuse it, but it doesn't work. So I haven't been an asshole in return. Though I am open to the idea that maybe there's a diffusal technique that I need to learn.
Dude, you know
so
what I
Digi,
hate?
whenever someone apologizes, please link me that comment so I can learn how you do it.
I will next time it happens. But I get a lot of those where just someone responds in a way where they're like, they disagree with the video, but they phrase it in a really douchey way. And then
Yeah,
I'll usually
yeah.
respond like, well, my intention was this, and this is what I was trying to communicate.
Yeah, see,
and
I've done that,
you didn't,
and most of the time they just don't reply. I never have gotten
Dude,
a single
it's-
No,
apology.
that
the
is-
worst,
it's that-
the worst
I all the
response
time
to
get-
this, the worst fucking response is when someone will be a complete dick and just try and like shut you down, and then you respond and like just annihilate their argument. Be like, "Calm down, bro. I was just kidding."
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
That's that
No,
tone
never
policing.
do that.
If you say anything to someone with even a little bit of edge, or if you use it like a swear word, suddenly you're
Yeah.
automatically in the wrong because you got angry. Well, motherfucker,
Yeah.
if you're saying stupid bullshit on my video,
I
yes,
hate
I
the
am
double
angry
standard
and I have a right
where,
to be.
where the commentators
and I'm
can
shutting
say
your
whatever
ass
the
down.
fuck they want.
Yeah.
But as soon
Jesse,
as
remember
you
that guy
fight
on your,
back, you're
Fuck
the
the Citizen
content
Kane of
creator.
Games
You're supposed to be the
comment
bigger
guy.
person and not
I know, Tom. That's
get pissed off.
infuriating.
It's fucking bullshit.
This guy started. I'm not going to read the whole comment, but he's like, "I tend to agree with your point. Yada yada. I think you missed this opportunity. Yada yada."
Yeah.
And so then you respond, you just respond
I went,
like
I
with
went
just
off
a
on that
little bit of
motherfucker.
swearing.
I fucking
and
burned
then
him
you
at
say
the
"fuck
stake.
you" at the end. And so his reply is, "Wow, period. Okay, period."
Oh
You know,
God, no! Never say
Yeah.
that. Wow.
Yeah, and
Holy
he even goes.
shit,
he even
dude.
goes.
Calm the fuck
even
down.
at the end, he goes, "I'm a fan, and I'm not unsubscribing because I like your content. But when a fan says they like your stuff and then tells you
Who
to
are
say
you? You
don't
think
like
you
it
because
matter?
I'm a
You think you
fan.
have a fucking opinion that's worth anything? You're nothing. You're worthless. Get the
here's
fuck
a-
off this
here's
Oh
what I
no,
internet.
you're
want.
gonna unsubscribe? Guess what? 5 fucking people
No, he's
just
saying he's not
replaced
going
you.
to unsubscribe. He's saying,
Guys-
I could unsubscribe, but I'm deciding to have mercy on you. I'm going to be very generous and not unsubscribe.
Oh, well,
If you
is
don't like
he
what-
not merciful?
And
What
you
a
look-
good
I went off
person
on that
he
motherfucker,
is.
and I
If
hope he has
someone- if
cancer.
one of your
You know what?
fans tells
You
you
know
what
what
they
that
don't
is,
like about your video?
Davu? When someone when he said like, "Wow, period, okay, period." You know what that is? It's the internet equivalent of when somebody starts a fight, gets their ass kicked, and then stands up and goes, "Come on, pussy, come on, I'm still going. I still
God,
want to fight."
I'm telling you, if anyone ever fucking does that to me, you are never getting invited back to Gurren Lagoon. You're never coming back. Never.
Yeah. Look,
Guys, I gotta make this. I want to make this comparison, all
Okay.
right? Because the thing about the internet and the reason that people feel so entitled to say this shit is that it's so abstracted, right?
Right,
We're all far apart from
It's
each other.
totally
We're all on our own
dehumanized.
screens. You don't visualize it as people being there. But the thing is that when I post a video and 2,000 views get onto it in 30 minutes, that means that basically everyone's in the same place. We're all doing the same thing. We're all at our computer. We're all watching the same video. We're all there. And I'm standing there. Like when I post a video, imagine this is the exact scenario that I think it's comparable to. You know when there's those movie screenings where the director is there? Where the director they'll show the movie, the director's there, at the end he might do like a Q&A or something, right?
yeah.
And that's typically like how these work. I post a video and I'm sitting there on YouTube after it's not like I post up a video and then I disappear. You know, I don't post my video and then immediately go on a globe-trotting adventure or something. Like that's not what happens. I post it and then I sit there for 2 hours and read and respond to comments as they come. And imagine when I post up a video and then I see comments coming onto the video before the runtime of the video is over.
That's when it all starts to go downhill.
Imagine yourself in a theater that theater situation where the director is there and people are standing up and shouting first while watching the movie.
Yeah.
You would so deeply offend that they would kick you out of the theater, first of all. You would immediately be removed from the theater. Because the venue itself has rules about this, right? No one would comment before the movie was over. Once the director came out, nobody would say, "Yeah, you fucking suck." You'd get kicked out. You would get banned. You would get blocked. If the director comes out, people stand up, they give a round of applause. Even if you didn't like the movie, stay sitting down. Don't say anything. Don't fucking, or leave. Get up and leave. Because the movie obviously didn't resonate with you. It wasn't for you. It was for those people who were standing up clapping. That's the like bar. When the movie ends and everybody stands up and claps, that's the like bar on the video.
Yeah.
The dislike bar shouldn't even exist, really, because I like the dislike bar only for when it's showing a mass dissatisfaction with something. I think it can be valuable.
I'm with you on this point. I do agree that there's something definitely to be said about the environment you're in and the types of comments that are made. But I guess it's just this is a totally separate point now, but I really think it's important to have a place where you can just fucking vent, and that's why I love 4chan so much.
But that's why 4chan's there, though. You can go on 4chan and do that.
Right,
I would love it if every time someone got mad about my video, they went and complained about it on 4chan, not in my fucking comments. Because again, to bring it back to that movie scenario, if the director is standing there on the front of the stage and someone has it, like, let's say there was a rape scene in the movie, and someone gets up and they say, like this would be an appropriate response you'd expect at a theater. That rape scene made me a little bit uncomfortable, so I'm curious as to why you put it in there. What was your intentions with showcasing that? Were you trying to offend, or did you have, what was your intent? What was the message you were trying to communicate? And then once the director tells you what message he was trying to communicate, you can decide in your head, well, I don't agree with the way he presented it. You don't even have to say anything. You could just know that in your mind. Right. If you got up in that theater and you said, "How dare you depict rape the way you did," then the director's going to say, "Fuck off. Get out of my theater." This is what I'm saying. Like, people, because of the abstraction of the internet, they don't think of it this way, but this is exactly what it is. I am there. I am the director of the video. I am listening to your comments, and when you come out screaming, that is no socially different from standing up in the theater and yelling at me.
I think it's a little different, but I hear what you're saying.
Okay, here's something kind of semi-related based on that. Is something that really drives me crazy is when, because we're talking about how people will comment and you're sitting there, especially in the beginning, reading the comments because you want to see what the reaction is to your work. It drives me fucking crazy, especially because I'm not a big channel, when people will talk about me like I'm not there, refer to me in a third person, or just talk amongst themselves.
I hate the way he does this.
Yeah, and it's just I'm right here.
The speaker of this video
I'm
really
right
did do such and
here.
such.
That is,
oh man,
so
that brings me to another rule.
Okay.
Do not shit talk the video maker's friends. You idiots.
Yeah.
This happens to all of us,
yeah.
especially.
Yes.
There have been, and this happened to me and Tom, I think, more than anybody else.
Right.
Where me and Tom were both big in the pony community at a time, and we would both cover every new episode of a show. And me and Tom were good friends, and if you watched our content, you would know that, because we collaborated all the time, we hung out, we had all these interactions with each other, and there would be people who would, comment on one of our videos about how shit the other guy's was. And they would comment on Tom's videos like, "Tom, I'm so glad that you're acting like this, because Digi lately has just been a piece of shit, loser." And I'm like, I read Tom's comments. You're talking to me in front of my face.
This has been happening to me so
Fuck
much,
that other
Digi,
dude.
on your top 10 YouTube videos video.
Yeah.
Because you put me in both number 2 spots. And so all these normies from your channel who didn't know about me, who didn't understand my content, immediately had to spout off some opinion about it. So you get all these people, this one guy was like, "Oh, Jesse's okay sometimes, but I don't like he seems like a bad," totally misunderstanding my intent.
The most obviously stupid one is when Digibro's channel was down briefly, and then on the Give and Take channel, Hippo uploaded a video going, and people were like, "Oh, fuck Digi," and it's like, how could anyone who follows the Give and Take channel possibly know about Digi, but but also not realize that they're friends.
Well, like
Hey,
a
I
lot of
remember
people,
that
a lot
time.
of people
Diagram
in
could
Digi's
that
video
possibly
would like
be?
were saying like really dismissive things, like
Right.
"Oh,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy looks dumb," you know, like even though Digi just got done explaining to you why I like succeeded in like breaking the boundaries or like transcending whatever the fuck I was
And
doing.
like he says, like it's not for
he
everybody.
tells
You have to acquire
why
the taste
video
and
is
all that
good and
shit.
why you should give it
Yeah.
a chance, and they're still being dismissive about it. And then like I got to do like a whole big thing with these two dipshit commenters on Digi's videos, and this one guy he kept like. He kept saying the word brony at me as though it were an insult. Like, oh, you're just a brony. Go back and review My Little Pony videos. And it's like, do you know who you're fucking subscribed to?
Oh god, that's the kind of
You're calling
Oh
me a
my
brony
gosh.
as though it's an insult. Digibro is the reason there is a brony fandom, you dumb fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
No,
But
no.
I think that
Brony
some people
is the
would
guy.
actually be
I
like-
would say that
I'm
Digi is
surprised how many people have never
25%
seen
at
Digi's
least of why
URL.
there is a persistent My Little Pony fandom.
something like that. Something like that.
I think, yeah,
Like
it's
Digi
amazing
made
to
all
me.
these thirsty
It's-
ass guys be like, "Oh my god, I can make money talking about fucking ponies on YouTube. I'm in." Which
It's
is exactly why
amazing
I got
to me
into
the
it too.
extent-
So
And this is also like, this is part of why I grew to eventually like really resent a lot of the other My Little Pony reviewers.
Right,
is that
right.
they never stuck up for it. Like with me and Tom, when people would insult one of us, we would stick up for each other. We'd be like, "Hey, you know, Digi watches my videos," or "Hey, you know, Tom is my friend, right? You know, like." Get the fuck out of here with that shit. There's a lot of like all these pony YouTubers who were all like directly inspired by me.
Yeah.
They would get all these comments about how, oh, you're so much better than Digibro, he's such a shit, and they would never say anything about it. They would never they would never attack those people. They'd never be like,
Dude,
oh no,
that
Digi's a
throne,
cool guy.
they want that
I would-
throne to empty.
No,
it's
none of
because
them
they're
ever
all
would use
cowards.
the
They don't want to
phrase.
stick up for anyone, least of all
Right.
their
Yeah, and I
friends or
think those
themselves.
people-
And
Also-
I'm like, if I inspired you, you should like, okay, imagine like I've talked about a lot about Ghostlightning, right, and how he inspired me to get into blogging. If someone came into my video and was like, "Man, that Ghostlightning guy, his blog went so downhill. I'm so glad that you were such a good dude," I'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here," because that guy is
Yeah.
that guy is the entire reason I even do this, because he inspired me. And there's people who directly have like told me that I was the reason that they started
Yeah.
doing YouTube.
Yeah,
And then they
yeah.
get comments that are like, "Fuck Digibro," and they don't say anything. And I know why. It's because it makes them feel good. They feel good that they are getting praised over a famous guy,
Yeah,
over a
yeah.
guy who has more attention than they do. So they're like, "Oh, you know, even though I don't agree with this, at least, haha, oh yeah, I get to fuck
yeah, I
you,
think
all
that
right?
could be-
If
that
you don't
probably
defend
is
the
it.
fact that I inspired you to make your videos, you exist because of me, you fucking pieces of shit. Do not pull." And I'm not saying this just to be arrogant for myself. I feel this way about everyone who
Throw
inspired
them
me.
stones,
If someone
nigga, throw
if-
them stones.
If someone fucking came to my video and was talking shit about any of the video, like even you guys have seen how defensive I get of even Ego Raptor, and I don't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
think he's making good videos anymore. But every time someone talks shit about Ego Raptor, I'm like, well, I wouldn't be here if not for
You
Ego
always
Raptor.
defend him when I
Be
talk
like
shit about
me.
Game
I
Grumps.
was
You're
so
always there
mad
to
at all the
defend him.
Digi haters when you guys channel deleted. I was on that Equestria Daily thread responding to all
Oh
of them.
my God.
I got banned from Equestria Daily. Banned from Equestria Daily.
What a
For
lol.
yeah, for like being too correct. I wasn't even being angry at them. Now,
Yeah.
you know, I think there's another theory I have as to why people put up with that kind of hatred. It's because a lot of people don't mind all of the hateful comments as much in general. This brings me to the most offensive, but most, like, possibly the most impactful point I'm going to make is I think a lot of people listening to this who maybe even have a little bit of content themselves, and they're listening to our complaints, and they're like, yeah, you know, you guys make a bunch of good points, but negative comments still don't bother me that much, and I don't really relate to your guys' opinions. Well, I have a theory.
slit your own throat,
Because-
motherfucker, because I'm more
because-
important than you and they bother me.
Well, you know, that's kind of what I'm about to say. You see,
He's gonna say it's
used
an
to
issue
be-
of scale, right?
Well, no. No. See, because it used to be, because I've been on the internet forever, right? Ever since it was invented in 1937. And,
Yeah.
and I would make stuff. I would throw stuff out there, and I didn't really have a whole lot of passion. I wanted to do something, but I didn't have a clear goal, a clear motivation. There wasn't anything that I ever, like, really poured my soul into. And if someone criticized it, I was like, you know, I don't really care. It was only when I started really caring about the stuff that I was making that, you know, it started to really get under my skin more. You know, people misinterpreting your intentions is more offensive when you have more intentions. So I just want people to reflect on themselves about that if you don't think that offensive comments are that offensive, maybe it's because you're not very creative, or very driven, rather. You know, I know that's a really harsh point to make, but I think it's probably
That's
very
so
valid.
fucking true, because like I I'm working on. I still do reviews on my first channel, but I mean I don't really care too much anymore. It's just I'm doing it because like there are occasionally topics that I like talking about, and that's how I make money. And so like when people like blew up on the video I made yesterday, like I knew it was gonna incite shit, and I didn't care. It was just like a dumb thing I wanted to do, and like whatever. But you know, when there's projects that like I legitimately care about, I'm way more defensive about it. I mean, that's why I'm like stalling trying to make this motion comic, because like my like soul is in this project, and like I'm gonna be using it to like examine a bunch of like my own like,
commenters
personal
can't relate to
shortcomings
that
and
because
shit.
they don't have souls.
Right. They're
They're not real human beings. They're not really
and it's like
alive.
that's when they say shit like that, it's way worse. Because like I remember I started doing some writing stuff like a couple years ago, and like I was like really like putting my all into that, and someone's like, "Oh, can I look at your work? I wanna you know like I write stuff too. I want to help you." I'm like, "Okay, like yeah." And like I wrote like one thing like a week ago. It was the first thing I ever wrote. And he just came back like, "This shit. This is all shit. This is fucking awful. Like why are you even trying?" And like that
by the
fucking
way-
stung like shit, because like he came in like trying to be helpful, and then just like shit on it with like reckless abandon. And
Yeah.
That's
like-
actually really clever and sinister. Like,
yeah, it was
if I
fucking
really
awful.
hated someone, if somebody like left a shit comment and they had videos on their channel, I would go to their channel and I'd be like, "Hey, do you mind if I watch
What
some of your
have I
videos? I
done?"
think you have a lot of potential. Maybe I could watch your videos and try to give you some
no.
fun." And then I would wait
Like,
for
that's
like a
not even
week,
the worst
and I'd
thing-
come back and I'd fucking destroy every single fucking thing about their lives,
Jesse,
and they would
the
die.
worst thing that ever happened to me with something like that is like there was this guy who was my biggest patron for a year and a half. He would give me $100 a video,
Wow.
Whoa.
and he did that for like a year and a half, and it took
Holy
me a year and a
shit.
half to realize he actually hated me and was trying to like make me depressed. And he gave me like
Whoa,
$1,000.
really?
Yeah, like, and it eventually boiled down to this huge fucking argument.
Whoa.
When
Okay, that guy is actually psychotic.
That's
Wow. He is.
insidious, dude.
Dude,
That's
it was
insidious.
He got
fucking
you, Tom. He
insane.
gave you $1,000.
He sure got you,
Tom,
man.
What did he say? What did
everyone,
he say in this
hey,
final
if you wanna hate me,
confrontation?
go to patreon.com.
By all means, if you think I'm the
me
worst guy ever,
$100.
please, patreon.com/Digibro.
Direct all hate
$100
comments to
video.
the Patreon exclusive
$100
section.
Rick and Morty.
You will ruin my life
All right,
by
Tom,
giving me.
Tom, what did he say? What was his argument
There
at
was
the
this
end of that?
posse of kids who like hung around me and like laughed at every stupid joke I made, and other kids were like, "Dude, they're just mocking you." Who cares? There's this group of people around here who pretend to love me. It's great.
That's like-
I don't feel offended at all.
That's like the internet equivalent of Wimp Low. Like they trained him wrong as a joke.
Yeah, yeah.
Giving you money is gonna destroy you.
Yeah, by the way, if you want to
Hey,
rule
mo
on
money, mo
comments that
problems,
you should
right?
make comments like, "I love you. Your videos are amazing." Those are always good,
Yeah.
right? Those comments are always nice. I make
or just
comments
like,
like
well,
that sometimes.
whatever.
Just like yeah. Oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say
Tom,
about
could
that.
you say your thing
Yeah,
now?
Tom. What happened at the end of that?
I mean, it
scenario?
was like what happened is he gave me a bunch of money for a while, then stopped, and then we were friends, and we just continued. Like at that point, it like sharply declined in terms of like being friendly. But at that point, I assumed
Yeah.
he was my friend because it's been like almost a year, and it just like constant prodding because like he knew that I'd like like I have like intermittent depression and stuff, and he would play off of that and like just like say a bunch of shit and like do a bunch of things.
fucking douchebag.
What is
Yeah, it
what
was-
is, what
it
is
was
this guy? A
weird
pickup artist
person.
trying to get in your pants? Is he negging you?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being a sociopath pickup artist. It's the right way to live. Let's not throw stones at that.
Yeah, no, it's funny what Defu was saying, and I guess his ultimate point was like, if you're passionate, then it matters more. And I guess I've always been passionate, but like, I back in the day got even more mad at like negative comments than I do now. Like, I've never been able to take criticism. I've
Well, I've
always
always been passionate. I
lashed
just
back
not
at
always
it.
been confident. There wasn't
Right.
always individual pieces of art that I put a lot of work into and thought were good. I don't have the ability to delusionally think my content is better than it is.
You know, it's almost funny because before I started on YouTube, I didn't really have a response to everything anyone would say at me. I do now. People can say anything they want about me, and I'll have,
Right.
I don't know, like a bunch of shit I can regurgitate that of, and it's
Yeah.
always correct. You know, it's funny how it's always correct. I don't even plan that. It just happens that way. Anyway, this is going on really long. Does anybody have any? We should list any more points we have.
I still have a few. I
succinctly.
still have a few. That I
Okay,
need to
let's
off.
get to those. Let's get to
Okay,
those.
well, people who think that they're being cute or endearing by insulting me, you're not. You don't know
Retarded.
me like that. You're not my fucking friend. You don't get to insult me. Let's see. Comments about my appearance.
Ugh.
Okay,
Oh,
always
boy.
irrelevant, always a little bit hurtful, and
Yeah.
you would never fucking
gotta-
say it to my face, or I would
true.
strangle
It's
you
true.
and kill you. So don't fucking say it on the internet because you wouldn't
Those
say
are
it
the
to my
only
face.
comments
I
I've
gotta
ever
jump in
deleted.
on that too, man. Because again, obviously, I get it all the fucking time with the beard, and like, here's the one. Like, okay, sometimes people joke about the beard, and sometimes it can be funny, and I don't mind being like kind of a meme. You know, like on some level, like kind of like Anthony Fantano, he's bald and people call him a melon. And it's funny and he's in on the joke and he clearly appreciates that joke because it came from a funny place where it was like some artist he reviewed like negatively, like legitimately called him a melon as it like while angry at him.
Yeah.
And so people picked up on that and started calling him that. And it's funny and he likes it. And there's certain memes and stuff that can be fun. Obviously, I look like a fucking weirdo. I appreciate that and I'm self-aware of it. And like, and it can be funny to talk about. But like, if all you have to say is like, shave your face. It's like, dude, I don't belong to you. I'm not here to look how you want me to look. If I was, I wouldn't look like. I don't understand how people seem to think that YouTubers are so unself-aware. Like this kind of goes back to the authorial intent thing, where I was saying that like people watch your videos and they somehow think that you don't know what's in them. You know, like I'm a guy who writes intensely, deeply analytical content about shows. I break down like visual aesthetics on a regular basis. I know how I look. You know, well, yeah, I'm a writer. Like, how do you not get that I have to edit these videos. I have to see myself on camera. I know what my beard looks like. I know what I look like. And the reason that I haven't changed it is either, obviously, A, I don't care, or B, I like the way I look. And there's people who say things like, one recently that just pissed me off so much I couldn't stop thinking about it. This happens to be a lot. So some people know how to phrase a comment in just such a way that I just like I can't believe that they said it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it
yeah.
like and it just
For me, I
it
almost
burrows
always
into my
delete
brain
and
all day.
ban based on the phrasing. Like if it gets to like
Yeah.
a 9 out of 10 on the smug scale, I ban.
It's
it.
like
I'm gonna go.
This guy said
on my Final Fantasy VII video from like a year ago now or something.
Yeah.
Like I got so many like, oh, this guy he's got this big beard and he's got a Hawaiian shirt. I don't accidentally have a big beard and a Hawaiian shirt in that video.
Right.
I grew it because I wanted it, and I put the shirt on because it looks cool. Fuck you!
But the comment that got to me so much that was recent was like someone saying, I don't understand how he thinks that beard looks good. He should, like, beards are meant to be taken care of. They're not meant to just be grown haphazardly.
Oh God, you're
And all I
violating
could
beard
think
laws,
was-
Digi.
All I could think was, why does he think that I grew this to look good? Why would, like, is that what we assume everyone's completely obsessed with their appearance and all they care about is looking perfect at all times?
Let me jump in
if
real
that was
quick
the
right
case,
there because
would
I'm
I
in fact
have
a 10 out of 10 perfect specimen of a man, and the only comments I get on my appearance
But
are
Nate,
to say how beautiful I am. So
you made a video
Yeah.
where you deliberately looked shitty
That's true.
for the message of the video.
That's
And I
entirely
remember
true.
when I clicked on Girl in the Gone Part
and you
1,
said to me,
the
Nate, why do you
very-
look like such a fucking scrub in this video? I
Right.
remember that.
The very first thing I thought was like, what the fuck? Why is he look? Because I remember, I know what you look like. I
Yeah.
met you, and I was like, did he like completely go downhill in the time since I last saw him? And then the video turns out is about you transforming. And I didn't leave that comment because I finished the video and then I told you that I had thought that at first.
Critical
and then
thinking.
and then later in the video it was proven.
See,
and like
viewers,
I
he's
completely
applying
didn't-
several of the rules that we've educated
Right.
you on in this thing.
And I completely didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
It was just like I saw you as like a nerd, and then you evolved, and I was like, oh, that's fucking genius, because I was thinking about how shitty you looked, and now you look amazing, and
Yep,
it's awesome. Like, that's sometimes the point. Like, I like that I am this character who is this like weird, crazy hobo who lives in a dungeon of anime posters. It's hilarious to me. And if you watch my After Dark channel, that comes through more because I wear the sunglasses and do weird shit, you know, and like
Yeah.
like it's obvious. But like that's why I said comments about the beard will be deleted, because like I know everything you can say about it. I know what it looks like. The reason the
Yeah, you
beard
fucking
looks so
live with
shitty
it.
on camera, by the way, is usually because if
The
you actually saw
lighting.
it's usually because of the lighting. Because in order to make your face appear on camera when you're filming in the middle of the night, you have to light yourself really well. And when all that light goes through all the scraggly part of my beard, it looks really bad. If you saw me in person, it never looks like that. It looks way more full. It looks completely together because I don't have a fucking halogen light blasting on me when I'm doing it, you know? And people don't get that you can film from different angles and different lightings, and everything makes it look different. Everything you do will make you look completely different. And there's some videos that I've posted where people will be like, "Oh man, you look like you lost weight, and you look like you cleaned yourself up." And literally all I did was wear a tighter shirt and film from a downward angle with better lighting. Like,
right.
Sometimes I don't have time to set all that up, you know. And it's like, I wish people understood why I look the way I do, but like all I can assure you is that I know exactly what I look like in the video. I edited it. Half of my career is analyzing aesthetics.
It's interesting, Digi. I'm learning something about the differences between you and I, because I'm the kind of guy who takes 6 months to make a video that will in no way be worth the effort that's expended on it to make sure I get all those little details perfect. Whereas you take the obviously superior approach of being like, well, I'm not going to fucking put the time in to get this done. That's retarded. No one in the world should do that.
There's no way I can make the number of videos that I do because like I have ideas for videos constantly, you know, and sometimes there's like with that whole the video that was positive reviews, like here's positive reviews I've done. The only incentive for that video was not to make a good video, it was to make one at that moment.
Right.
Because I was about to make 2 very negative reviews about very popular shows right after people have been saying that I've been getting really negative with my videos, and my most recent popular ones were negative videos. So I thought, let's counterbalance this and draw attention to positive videos I've made. It wouldn't have worked if I posted it 2 weeks later. It would have no point because I would already be done with the negative videos and moving on. So like the only incentive was, how can I get a video out tonight that proves that I've made positive videos? I don't have Victor available to light me well or shoot me with a nice camera because he's been working for all fucking week. I don't want to show off too much of my room because I'm planning to use parts of my room for a different video and I don't want it to be shown before then. I can't necessarily set up everything to look good, so let's just fucking turn on the camera and ramble. And if I'm lucky, if my fans are fucking decent enough people, then when I nicely ask them not to fucking talk about my beard, maybe they won't do it. How wrong ever was I?
Maybe. All right, Jesse, let's move on to some of these other points.
Okay. I've been wanting to say this whole damn podcast.
Oh, shit.
Hey, you know what, can we build up the suspense a little bit more? I have a really minor point that'll take 1 minute.
You shut your fucking face, god damn it. You people, you can go after me, Defu. You people out there do not ever use my full name or my real name.
Oh, yeah.
Ever. Don't do it. You're not my friends. You're not a person in my life. You don't know me like that. My name is Endless Jess. That's the name of my channel. You can call me that or one of my other 10,000 monikers. You can call me Drowning in Footwear. You can call me the fucking Horseshoe Boy. You can call me whatever the hell you want. But Jesse Wood is for my fucking friends. Jesse is for my friends. And I can't even describe why exactly it makes my skin crawl so much. It feels like a violation. It feels like rape. Like somebody is in my kitchen touching my shit or messing around with my stuff. It feels dirty. Don't do it. Do not call me by my real name. Don't ever fucking do it.
Jesse.
Ever.
I agree with you, and I think that it's in your case, it's a little bit your fault and a lot our fault.
Yeah.
We're
definitely culpable because we always call
we all called you
There's
Jesse
no
Wood.
one name to
Seriously,
to have
even
the entire umbrella.
even if it's a positive comment or a nice comment, if you use my real name, I feel raped, and I don't respect you as a person, and I don't
for
like
the
you.
record, Jess, I don't know if you did it in any of the videos that are still available.
Well,
but
yeah,
when we were
because when I
watching
started
that,
out, I stupidly didn't know what I wanted to call myself yet.
Yeah, a man makes mistakes, you know.
in the manly lessons to manhood video, you were like, I'm Jesse
which is
Wood,
part of
and I
why
was
that
like,
video
oh.
doesn't exist anymore.
Right. But but I completely get where you're coming from, because like while your username is, I think the reason that it happens with you is that your old usernames were all difficult to use as names, and your new username is so close to your real name that people just assume that that's just what to use.
And sometimes we want to describe like you as a person as distinct from all the different subsets of you that exist. It's like
yeah,
it's hard to describe.
But I
the
think
one
Endless
overall.
Jess.
I think Endless Jess umbrellas
works
them
for
all
that.
pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I've started calling you.
I'm
that.
like a Hanar people from Mass Effect, okay? I got my face name, and that's Republic,
Yep,
and I got my
yep.
soul name, and that's for my peeps.
Yeah.
And you ain't my
the
peeps.
reason I agree with you though is that I get this sometimes where there's certain
Hey,
people who call me
Conrad.
Conrad.
I don't even fucking call
And-
you Conrad. I
I
can't
know,
do
it's
it.
weird.
It feels weird.
It's
No, dude, it's super weird to me because never have I put out there that it was that I am Conrad. You guys are my closest friends online.
Yeah.
You all call me Digi. Everyone online calls me Digi. My name is always Digibro. It
I mean, I
always
think
is.
there's
It's
one
never
thing that
not
can-
the case. When people, here's the thing. Here's why it bothers me. Because when people call me Conrad, especially like with Jesse, I get that maybe they don't understand that you don't like to be called that. But with Conrad, 100% of the time, it feels like they're trying to be sneaky. It feels like they're
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to say, "I know more about you," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm closer to the
What a
truth."
creepy
'cause
sentiment that
I've
is,
looked
you know?
into you. Yeah, right. Because
Yeah.
like you only would know that if you were watching like either watching like interviews or something, or you saw me in like a Google Hangout because my real name is on my Google Plus account. So like you saw me in a Google Hangout and you saw that it was Conrad, or you saw my Facebook or something. You saw
Or you listen to this podcast.
well, yeah.
or this particular
educational
podcast.
purposes only.
And I'm a little bit more forgiving when it's on Digibros because of the
you
fact
get
that
called your name there, yeah.
right, like me and Victor will
Right,
be
of
on there.
course,
Victor
of
will
course.
call
That's
me
like how
Conrad.
with Game
and, like,
Grumps,
I think
how,
context
it was
has
Ego
a-
Raptor, then it became Aaron because everyone
right,
Grumps
like
just called
everyone
him
calls
Aaron.
him Aaron now because it became normal. And like I'm more okay with people calling me Conrad in the comments of Digibros because I'm like, yeah, okay, I get called Conrad here all the time. And like it doesn't feel sneaky. It's never felt like
It's
they're
funny
trying
that
to
you say it's sneaky because like that's like one of the things that guy I was talking about earlier did. Because at one point when we were still like he was still being chummy, he bought something off of me, so I sent it to him, and then he would start calling me by my real name in all of
Right.
my comments, and then he would mention
Tom
my
Balan.
hometown all the
Oh,
time where I
jeez.
live.
There is,
oh hey
there is
Tom
like
Balan of Michigan whatever city.
there is an issue of context to it, I guess,
not Michigan,
because
I meant,
yeah, on
Massachusetts.
Digibros you're Conrad because it's you and your brother, and I get why they'd call
Yeah.
you that. Or like for me, like if I went and did like stand up, or I released a stand up CD, I don't know if I'd call myself Endless Jess on stage. I
Yeah,
might, or I
yeah.
might just let them call me Jesse Wood. If it, in that case, maybe. But when I'm on my fucking YouTube channel, it's like my wrestler name. Okay, you don't walk up to CM Punk and say, "Hey Phil." You just don't do it. He'll punch you. He'll beat you up, and I'll beat you up. I'll
Yeah.
beat up everyone.
No, again, yeah, and with someone like CM Punk, that would absolutely be trying to be sneaky. You're
Yeah.
trying to be cheeky. You're trying to say, "I know more about you,
You know
than
what?
other people do." I'm
I've
an insider.
I've got a funny thing here. It's just my name Nate is out there a little bit. Some people have called me that sometimes. They're calling me Guy these days, which is fine. But when people bring up the name Keg Standard, it's like, bro, you need to knock that shit off. We've all moved on from those days. Let's just
Right.
just
Yeah.
move it
No,
along.
for
You
sure.
can
Yeah,
only
you haven't done-
you can
yeah,
only
you've
call
done
him
so
Nate
little
if you
networking.
spell it N8.
That's right. And you know what? A Keg Standard isn't even me. You know, that's not me. That was
That's
some
true.
guy.
That
that's,
is-
that's
that-
this pony
that is an
man, my
original
best friend.
There's no
Pony
guys
man,
that-
you know?
He has his
Like,
own
not even
backstory.
me.
When you
That's
call
right.
me Conrad, it doesn't like what you're trying to say is I know more about you than other people, but what and hey,
I'm
isn't
going
that
to rape
cool?
you is implied,
But yeah,
yeah.
what it comes off to me is like creepy and weird because you know that my other friends online call me Digi, and
Yeah,
I like it when I can tell why people know me by what they call me. Where like in my house, everyone calls me Conrad, but when I hear people call me Digi, it lets me know, oh, you know me from YouTube. You know me from my life. You know, if my friend fucking Trevor comments on my videos and says, Conrad, you piece of shit, then that's okay because it's Trevor, and he's you know, like someone who knows me as Conrad. But like when I go to conventions and someone walks up to me and goes, hey, Digi, I can go, okay, this guy watches my channel. That's why he knows who I am,
yeah.
you know? And that makes it a lot easier for me to like contextualize how people know me. If you walked up to me at a convention and I didn't know who you were and you said, hey, Conrad, I'm going to assume that we went to high school together or something. Like, I'm going to be trying to figure out why do I know you.
Don't do that shit,
you know?
folks. It's a matter of respect. That's what it is.
Jesse, you got another...
I
or
think there was
Davu
actually
had
one
I think.
time that somebody called me by my real name.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Online sometime?
It was
Yeah.
only
Maybe
once.
they were just talking about
It was
that one
weird.
luxury brand, Louis Vuitton.
Yes, which is Gibbs' real name. All right, Jesse, next one.
Well, Davu had one.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, okay. Blame yourself. If they get mad, don't psychoanalyze them to think that the YouTuber is having a bad day.
Psychoanalysis. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
That's
the
Remember
guy
when I
who
got
was
that
reading-
string of emails for like a week from that guy who's trying to psychoanalyze me in my inbox?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
my God.
Oh yeah, I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That was amazing.
right? Because remember
that
that guy
was
who
when
was-
you
Didn't he have a
quit the
really-
fandom, as I recall,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Didn't he have a really edgy profile?
did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Oh,
it was
my-
awesome.
That guy was just like, it was like these long, unbroken
Yeah,
paragraphs
that guy was
with
a
barely
walking
any
fedora
sentence
meme.
breaks that were just him going like, Tom, the way you've left the fandom proves that you're just you've grown more distant and sensitive as a person.
It was
and,
the
and
worst
you're-
shit ever.
Oh man, that was
Man.
amazing.
Like
I
even
am
professional
was great.
psychologists, you can fire them and not let them constantly
Right.
anymore.
Well, what's your escape
Yeah.
from these people? There is none.
Yeah, exactly. So that commenter guy who I was reading from before, who was commenting on Jesse, he made another one. He said, "Your words sound like those of a hurt person."
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
And I don't think and get this.
Oh
And
Jesus.
I don't. This is like the most egregious of this particular thing ever.
Yeah,
And
this guy
I
should be
don't
framed.
I don't think my words are the thing that hurt you.
Oh God! Shut up!
I think.
Damn it!
I think you're responding to something or someone else with your bitter words. I'm sorry, Jess, and I wish you the best.
And you know, after I
God.
deigned,
He thinks he's such a saint.
after
He
I
thinks he's
deigned
such a
to
hero.
lower myself and do him the favor of explaining to him in 7 paragraphs why he's a fucking piece of shit, he still has the nerve to not even
Yeah,
take any of it
exactly.
in and just reject all of it with some bullshit psychoanalysis to try to
All
cop
that
out of it
shows-
and back out with his tail
yeah,
tucked between his
exactly.
legs. He's a coward. They're all fucking cowards who don't want
That's
to
exactly
accept
what that is.
when they've made a
That's
mistake.
intellectual cowardice. He's looking for any excuse to not accept the argument. So that's what that is. Whether he can't or he just won't, that's what it is.
and I'll,
Okay,
and I'll
Jesse.
beat him up.
Next one.
Okay, I don't have any much more rules written down, but I want to talk about
Okay.
one commenter specifically from a recent
boy.
episode of this
Oh, boy.
podcast. And I'm not gonna
okay.
go off on them, but I'm gonna illustrate a couple of things we talked about. So it was during the Dark Souls race, and I was making my Anita
Oh, yeah,
Sarkeesian
yeah.
jokes, my legendary,
Oh, yeah.
hilarious
Okay,
Anita
yep, all right.
Sarkeesian jokes.
Right. The most important character Jesse's ever created.
Yeah.
Yes.
And some guy was like, those jokes ruin the whole thing. Anita Sarkeesian is not funny. Now, I have 2 complaints with that sentiment. The first complaint is, first of all, motherfucker, I am the expert on funny. I know what's funny and you don't. And you can't say that something is not funny when everyone else in the call on the podcast was laughing uproariously at it the whole time.
That's right. That's pretty much defeats it right there.
But the second issue that I have with it is that it speaks to what we talked about earlier with misunderstanding my intent. This guy thought that Anita Sarkeesian was not funny because he was viewing the joke through the lens of, well, this guy's making fun of Anita Sarkeesian and he's making fun of social justice, and that's been done to death and it's old hat. And I totally get that, but it's a misunderstanding of my intent, and my intent is what makes the joke funny, because I'm not doing it to shit on social justice warriors. I'm doing it because I have a fondness for Anita Sarkeesian. I think she's
He does,
hilarious.
folks, it's true.
And my character, Anita Sarkeesian, first of all, Anita Sarkeesian has been my Dark Souls character since 2011. She's been with me on these journeys the whole time. I have more of an attachment to her than any other character I could have possibly made. So it's not just me making fun of social justice warriors. It's funny because she's my girl, and she exists in Dark Souls. She hates men, she is immune to poison, and it's fucking funny.
Yeah, I mean
It's got
the
nothing.
original-
It's got nothing to do with me pushing any kind of agenda. It's just a
Yeah,
funny thing that I
yeah.
made like 5 years ago, and I
That's
stuck
The
with it because I
original
like her.
Anita Sarkeesian video from the Blue Glow, like if you haven't seen it, it's amazing because, I mean, even if it was just a joke on social justice warriors, what is the joke? The joke
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that she is immune to toxic, which means that you actually made a character and put all of the stats into immunity so that you could run around a toxic environment and it wouldn't affect you. And you have gone out of your way to make... This makes the game harder. Killing all of the male NPCs.
In a race, no less. That's hilarious.
Yeah, in the middle of a race, he went out of his way and still beat my time, by the way, by a landslide.
Yep, sure did.
He still rang 2 bells before I rang 1, while taking time out of his day to murder all of the male NPCs and then pose proudly after doing it. That shit was hilarious. The fact that it's Anita Sarkeesian is a very clever pun, but the fact that it's a joke on her is not why it's funny. It's a fucking well-delivered joke. You did it perfectly. And not appreciating that just because you're like, but I'm sick of Anita's... Whatever, dude. It's funny. That's why we laughed at it. And the guy clearly didn't think about why it was funny. He clearly just thought it was, it's an Anita joke.
Nobody is more sick.
Look at the craftsmanship.
Nobody is more sick of that joke than me. But the fact that I'm so sick of it makes it even funnier to me when I do it.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's
all
dumb.
right, well...
Are
I
we
guess
done?
we've
Have
about-
we wrapped it up?
I guess we've wrapped
You know,
it up.
I mean,
feel
I guess
like
the
could
one
go.
best
I feel
thing-
like I could go all day on this topic.
We could go all day, but people, I've got an Undertale video to finish. It's coming. One of these days.
I just want to say for
I'm just
one
gonna
second
end
why
with
I
the-
leave why I like comments, because I don't even get this mysterious, elusive discussion that Digi always talks about. I don't think anyone can really contribute much since I'm the one who put days into thinking about it. I don't. Almost never do I watch an analysis and have much else to add on to it myself. I leave comments up because it helps me gauge the reaction of a video. I want to know not only how many people decided to watch it, but how many people had some sort of verbal reaction to it, right? And that's what I like. And I just think that a comment that doesn't amuse me isn't very useful. If it doesn't seem like it's going to amuse anyone else, it's not worth existing, And I'm making the world a better place by deleting it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't only leave comments open just for like good discussion. To me it signifies that people are engaging with the content. Cuz like if all I had was views and all I had was likes, I don't know what kind of views those are. If a video gets 100,000 views and no comments, then it's like did people even really care or engage with the content, or did people just like what were they thinking when they watched it? So like the comments allow me to know that like people give some level of a shit about what I just made, and so, yeah, no matter what the comments are, it's nice when I get a lot of them, and that's always a good, like, okay, this is something that people really cared about, or it resonated with them, Even with something like the Erased video, if I didn't have so many dumb comments, having a bunch of negative ones at least tells me that the video was something that inspired people to feel a way, like it gave them feelings, whether they were positive or negative. But when
and those kind of comments let you know what people are wanting, which you could throw that away if you want, but at least it's information.
Yeah, it's the dirty
And I had
secret.
a-
All your
is that-
bitching does have an influence on us. Whether we do specifically what you said or not, we never do specifically
Yeah,
what
there's-
you
yeah,
said.
yeah.
But we,
Well,
at
and
least
yeah,
with me, I do.
it's a
I do
tangible
tailor
details
my.
thing, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Like I've been
like,
making
people
my
don't
recent
understand-
videos specifically
Sorry,
around
a
what
lot
people
of-
are going to misunderstand.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like they'll say that they didn't like the video, and then they'll try to explain why, and it's probably like often it's not really that, like they don't completely get what even like it's kind of like when the Film Crit Hulk tangible details thing, where he talked about how people will blame the hair color of the actor for the fact that the performance wasn't good, when if it's a good movie and they do a good performance, then you'll accept a character even if they don't look like how you thought they were supposed to.
Right.
Like
right.
with my videos, sometimes like with the Erased one, I've gotten a lot of complaints that just kind of missed the point of what I was trying to do. And like so they're not helpful. They're not helpful that they're negative. But
Yeah, constructive criticism is really rare. Remember that.
Right. But like, there are times where I will just look at the fact that no one got it, and that can inform me. Now, with that particular video, I knew people weren't going to get it, and I didn't care. Like, I wanted that video to be what it was, and I knew it would have a negative reaction. But there have been times in the past, like with my Zanko no Terror video, which is kind of similar to that one, where there was a lot of negative reaction to it that I didn't expect, and it made me realize that I had written the video wrong. Not for the reasons necessarily that people responded to. Like, people would say this and that and get mad at me, but what I realized when I assessed, like, okay, this video is making a lot of people mad, why? And then I realized why, and I didn't do that anymore.
That's why you should talk only about your own opinions. Don't try to represent a fictional rule book, because that will help us
Exactly.
Ooh,
learn
that's-
from your opinions
that's-
faster.
That's a very good point. Okay, let's wrap it up. But before we go, Gibbon, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that my comments are the
Gib,
best.
by the way, does leave
because-
the objectively best comments of anybody. As you can see on his
Yeah.
Twitter,
Well,
if you follow
not the
Hypocrite.
comments that I leave. I mean, that's true. But also the comments on my videos are
Oh,
the
I
best
see,
because I am the most likable guy.
That's true.
And I make the most likable videos over at
Most of your
youtube.com/patreon.com/Ben Saint.
Yeah.
Most of your comments are like just confused most of the time. It seems like they're just like,
It's
well,
on his
Gibbons lost his
Hypocrite.
mind.
Like
Well, on
something-
Give
Yeah.
and Take share.
You have
Hypocrite.
the kind of
wanted to
personality
mention-
that doesn't offend people. So long as you
That's
don't
true.
run a Kickstarter, you'll never get a contingent of haters.
That's true. Okay, now before we go, I have one announcement I want to make, which is just I'm putting out a bounty on the PCP mascot because I don't know who the fuck that is, and it's been bothering the fuck out of me. I think it might be Saito from Bakuman. I don't know, but I'm telling you,
Yeah.
if anybody can find that out, leave a comment. Whoever is the earliest comment, we will give you some sort of reward.
Don't
we'll
comment
mention
it's
you.
Saito from Bakuman. Give us
Yeah,
proof.
there needs
Yeah,
to
I
be.
need
You know what? We
link
need
me
to
the page. I need the
encourage.
context.
There needs to
I
be
need
like
the
a
page
contest.
itself.
Who can leave the best, least horrible comment? The comment that is good.
Yeah.
Leave good
That
comments.
too,
We'll
that too. But seriously,
reference it in the next
we will all upvote
thing.
the best comment on the video.
That too. And now find me that page, people, and you'll get some sort of reward. We'll figure it out. So go ahead and do that.
That will be the best comment. If someone
It will be the
does
best
that.
comment
Sorry.
right there.
Automatically
That's a
win.
meaningful comment.
Yeah.
Remember, everyone, the true point of all this is just, you should suck my dick.
And if you don't want to not be on the moon, good comment and be in Gurn Lagoon.
I like
Everybody
swords.
say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be working right now. I'm supposed to be working right now. But I'm not working. I'm doing nothing. My dick I'm jerking. Myself I'm sucking. I am an asshole. I am a stupid. I've got a deadline. Don't wanna do it. What the hell is wrong with me? I'm supposed to be making money. I'm supposed to be creating funny things that the people gladly will pay for. Artistic genius, that's what they came for. Instead, I'm tweeting, hashtag repeating. That's why there's no heat and holes in the ceiling. Yeah, it's quite the burden. It's a hard knock life, being a genius.